you are looking into the Superior Dome here at Northern Michigan University in Marquette, 16th annual UP Football All-Star Game. We will get the telecast underway in just a couple of moments here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. One of the great traditions of this event every year, the full player intros. Let's take you down to the floor of the Dome and join public address.
Number 5, Tyler Darn. Number 6, Michael England, Mid-Peninsula. Number 7, Hugh Gilmoff, Waukegan. Number 8, Kate Calcari of Menominee. Number 9, Kate Neal of Unison. Number 10, Dylan Hunter of North Central. Number 11, Luke Brzezinski of North Central. Number 12, Cole Vilma of Kingsford. Number 13, Tristan Sires of Mid-Peninsula. Number 14, Owen Eichmeyer, North Central. Number 15, Marco Juarez of Newberry. Number 16, Carter Kosztowski of Sault Ste. Marie. Number 17, Michael Peterson of Norway. Number 20, Easton Tallback of Ghana. Number 21, Andrew Weber of North Central. Number 22, Devin Grove of Stevenson. Number 23, Jersey Karki of Westwood. Number 24, Nico Luca-Ryan of Ghana. Number 30, Blake Doak of Newberry. Number 33, Braden Farah of Ireland. Number 40, Micaiah Paranaki of Unison. Number 50, Colin Schneider of Iron Mountain. Number 52, Mitchell Cartwright of Gladstone. Number 56, Braden Dunstan of Negani. Number 66, Tyrell Matson of St. Ignace. Number 68, Bradley Gavier of Iron Mountain. Number 17, Zach Burton of Newberry.
do this. Yes. Yes. Now Jordan Messenger about ready to put this one on the tee. Played for North Central, and he'll be kicking to a very, very dangerous black all-star team. And back there is number 0, Phil Nelson for Negaunee. And the last time he touched a kickoff in the championship game against Grand Rapids West Catholic, Greg Nelson, he returned at 97 yards for the final touchdown of his high school career.
Probably the most electric play of the year. It really was. It brought the place, standing room, everybody just standing, just going crazy.
That is Greg Nelson. Mark Evans, appreciate you coming along here again. 16th annual UP Football All-Star Game. We are in the Dome. Great crowd for this one here this afternoon, as family and friends have come to support these guys, many of them in their last ever real football game. And we are set and ready to go. We'll run down how this all works as we get things going. And a very wise move here by the red team, trying not to kick it to Phil Nelson, but he's going to land on it anyway. Coughed up the football. And did he cover it back up? Indeed he did. So a wise move, not kicking it deep. But Phil Nelson, as you saw there and as we talked about, going to be one of these weapons here, Greg, that these are done by a draft. These two teams are put together. And you can tell by the way some of these players were drafted exactly what these coaching staffs want to do with these two teams.
Yeah, you want your speed. If you get it, then it's turf. And there's no wind out here, no rain, nothing to take away from pure speed. And if there's some dangerous weapons of both teams.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that here. Here's the black team and some of the guys that they decided to draft. Phil Nelson out of Negaunee, Nick Nora out of Kingsford, Preston Gauthier from Ishpeming, Tyler Darmagray from Gladstone. You see where I'm going with this whole thing?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and they've got some speed and some skill on this black team. Red team a little bit different. We'll talk about them on offense in just a moment. But we are set. We are ready to go with our first play from scrimmage here in the Superior Dome. A little waggle to the right-hand side as both of these teams show some real good size up front. And dropping back and looking, getting crushed. In the backfield is our friend Mr. Gorzinski. That's Luke Gorzinski from North Central, and that collapsed on him in a real hurry.
Somebody forgot to block because it was a jailbreak, and he unmolested to the quarterback, and he get hit.
Well, Gorzinski not used to that kind of pressure. Those North Central teams winning back-to-back 8-player state championships right here in this building over the last couple of years, but that's going to knock it back into second and forever. And no surprise that there's a breakdown early. It's an all-star game. And
pass blocking, you don't really work on that in these kind of games really that much. Trying to get continuity in your basic offensive plays, and the fundamentals of blocking aren't really worked on like they would be during the season.
So the black team tried to strike early, and they're going to split two receivers out. That's Nora, number 1 out of Kingsford, inside receiver on the left, and Philip Nelson, the outside receiver, way out to the right. It is second down and 21 yards. After an 11-yard loss on our first play from scrimmage, and here's Gorzinski dropping back, rush on him once again. Can he get out of harm's way? Got the corner, got hit as he threw, and he's got Philip Nelson waiting for it, caught it, and it's a first down. And that, my friends, is what Philip Nelson did the last 3 years for Ball Jacobson and the Negaunee Miners.
That was a heck of a throw, Mark. He was rolling away from trouble toward the sideline, opposite his throwing hand. He had to throw off of 1 foot basically, and he threw it down the field, and Phil waited for it and jumped at the high point and received it, and he was interfered with also probably, but what a catch.
And the defender looked like he got there just at the right time. But again, not able to come up with the play is Lucas Switek out of Superior Central. And that's a first down almost to midfield. So one play is a disaster, and the next play is a bomb for a great success, which you see a lot in these all-star games. Kind of feast or famine for a little while. Sending a man in motion, that's A.J. Prosser out of Ishpeming. And Gorzinski's going to keep this one. Cuts to his left, got bumped at the line of scrimmage. Got a head of steam, and up the sideline he goes, and they will not catch him. And that's not Gorzinski. That is Josiah Juberick from Bark River Harris, who's going to get the touchdown. So 3 plays in, and just like that, and I stand corrected, that is Gorzinski. That's 11 on North Central. I got the black team on the wrong side of the roster up here. That's my fault. So Gorzinski, there he is, gets the big run for the touchdown, and that is something he did all season long.
All career long, Mark. You can tell athleticism. First to get out of trouble on a passing play, and this play here broke a tackle and it's bounced it outside. He uses speed, and he wasn't going to get touched. 2 great plays for the quarterback.
Ricardo Braro from Gogibic, the other minors in the UP. We'll try and tack on the extra point. Gorzinski with the hold. So we're just about 2 minutes into this football game. And this is a line drive that goes through, and just like that, black team out to a 7-0 lead.
You notice that extra points, they don't block.
Yep.
You snap it, everybody stays in their position. There's no penetration, nobody hitting anybody, and let the kickers kick. Well,
Morrow was an interesting story with the Gogibic Miners and their 8-player program in the Western UP. He won the kicking skills contest the other night. He won the competition like a 43-yarder here in the Dome. So the kid's got a bomb, and he showed it right there, put it through the uprights here on the extra point. And, Greg, this is so early. We don't really look for an answer or a response. Yeah. If you're the red team, okay, let's just hit our feet underneath this and see what happens now.
I mean, that was first of all, a great athletic play by the defense for the sack. Then Gorzinski just rolled opposite his throwing hand to throw that pass down the field off of 1 foot. Philip Nelson with a great catch. And then Gorzinski with a great running play, broke a tackle, and we're seeing some athletes perform right now this early in the game already.
A couple of men back here for the red team. Going to try and answer here early. And I'm looking to see if it's Nelson that's actually going to be the one to kick this one, but apparently not here for the black team. Nelson, the bulk of the kicking chores for Paul Jacobson's Negaunee Miners during the course of this last season. And it's interesting, too, Greg. We're wrapping up the 2022 season about 8 months after the fact, which has always been fun for me in this All-Star game.
Hardest guys to stay in shape, too, a little bit. Only 1 week to come out here, but they know in advance a little bit. They can hit the weight room a little bit and hit the track and get some kind of shape.
That's Morrow with the ball on the tee. Lefty about ready to go. And a couple of men deep. And you can see that good-looking crowd on the far sideline. This near side just as packed with family and friends here on a beautiful June day. Red team time to answer. And cut to the right, get to the outside, and a big hit right there at the marker. And taking that hit is Kane Niebel from Munising. And, man, what a senior year he had with that great run in Division IV basketball with the state championship there for the Mustangs.
Ooh, did he get hit by Mila? Ooh, did he give him a shot?
Legal hit right there on the marker. As you get a look at this from the end zone. Well, they've got different numbers. Is that an 8 or a 9? I had that as an 8. So already a slight issue, but inside, and they'll go with the I formation, and to the outside they'll cut it. And big surprise who's running the football here. We talked about the offense for the black team here, Greg. Let's see what the red team did. Let's go get Drake Spickerman out of Negaunee. Let's go get Levi Kilpula out of Calumet. Kirby Koskela from Lakeland and Hubble. You see where I'm going here? You got Nathan Keogh from Negaunee, Riley Merck out of Munising. Big college-size offensive line. Let's just hand the ball to Cole Putchie out of Gladstone. Let him do his thing. We have two different
little power running game here, and a little outside speed game.
And you see Putchie right there, 26, and that's Kolovecki, the quarterback out of Iron Mountain, who had a phenomenal career for the Mountaineers over the last couple of years. And Putchie again, and doing what he does, just having people follow him out near first down to be about a half a yard shy. So, yeah, definitely I think we're going to see a little bit more ground and pound out of this team wearing white and red.
Right.
So, again, just underway here early. Appreciate you coming along here and being a part of things. This has turned into such a great event. This actually started All-Star games in the UP back in the late 1940s.
Oh, really?
And it made it 3 or 4 years up until about 1951, and then they pulled the plug on it until 2008. Inside the fullback this time, and straight up the gut they go, and a big run and into black team territory. And on the carry for the red team is Sam McKissick from Forest Park.
Well, he caught him in a blitz that time, Mark, and he blitzed right by the running back, and he blitzed in the wrong gap, and he got burnt, and big running play.
And that's a big, strong young man right into your living room on that play, too. So both teams having success in doing what we thought they would do. Much more finesse on the black team on their opening drive and just, hey, here's the ball, stop us for the red team.
It's pretty fun so far. Some pretty good plays.
Well, it's interesting because this All-Star game in its infancy, when it came back in 2008, was split north-south.
Right.
And then they went east-west. And they really struggled to get competitive games, as this is going to go for a loss of a couple of yards on the play and bring up second down and 10. As Pucci gets wrapped up at the line of scrimmage there. And they just struggled to find competitive games. And so then they went to the draft a couple of years ago. And this has turned out to be phenomenal for this because of a couple of reasons. Coaches can then pick the way that they want to coach. And then you can get some of the best position players from several teams across the UP. Take a look at this offensive line for the red team that we just talked about. You got Eli Van Buren right there, number 8, heading out as a receiver, but he's a big, bruising kid if he gets the ball out in space. So this red team built much more for finesse, or for ground and pound, and the black team much more on the finesse side of things. There's Kulivaki looking into the flats, got his man, and right through the hands of the intended receiver. There's a couple of black jerseys there pestering him. As out of the backfield there was McKissick once again, the big fullback out of Forest Park.
In the last play there, Mark, outside linebacker Palomaki there for Nagani. We had a great play on Pucci, the running back. I mean, he stuck him, drove him back, a great form tackle. If you want to watch how to tackle somebody as a kid growing up, that's one of the best form tackles you're going to see. You know, hit him, wrapped him up, and kept his feet moving. And that was a great fundamental play. And
that goes back to last fall, a couple of games, too, with Nagani Gladstone. And Easton Palomaki had some really good games against Cole Pucci and the Braves in those 2 games, one in the regular season and one in a state quarterfinal game at Gladstone last year, where Pucci got shut down quite a bit in that ball game, and he's a heck of a runner.
See, they went a lot of 4 out in that game all season, and Nagani manhandled him up front today. He had no lanes to run into at all.
So we'll go shotgun and spread the field, will the red team. Kulivaki dropping back and looking, pressure coming his way. Trying to wave his man downfield, not there. He gets horse-collared from behind. There will be no penalty. And they'll bring up 4th down at about 15. And we probably going to see our first punting situation in the ball game. As one of the black players is gimpy a little bit.
There's tackle there by Luke Reinen.
Yep. 2
Nagani players back-to-back stop and run running plays. Palomaki and Luke Reinen, they were stars for Nagani for over the years. And you realize with Nagani's team last year, Mark, they returned all 4 linebackers. So next year now they're going to have to replace 4 starting linebackers, and that's hard to do.
That's Mitchell Cartwright getting helped off the field here for the black team. 52 out of Gladstone. Yeah, this upcoming season is going to be very, very interesting with a lot of the restructuring that's going on within the conferences. You got Marquette, Escanaba, and the Sioux now basically joining a conference of teams from downstate, which puts Menominee and Kingsford now in the Mid-Peninsula Conference. A couple of teams, again, going 8-player, but I think we're going to hit the brakes on the 11-player to 8-player for a couple of years.
I hope so.
As the punt is kind of a shank, and the black team just going to let this one bounce. Philip Nelson's going to watch it triple out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. So, ground and pound worked quite well until the last couple of plays, as the black team defense stood tall and forced him back here.
See, they had him going east and west, Mark. See, east and west now with the speed that they have to chase the ball down, they lost yardage.
This game's going to be a little bit longer than most, as the quarters are 15 minutes as compared to the standard 12 minutes for the MHSAA ball games. And again, the black team taking over with that 7-0 lead. Nick Nora from Kingsford, Philip Nelson from Nagani split out top. Slot receiver left here for the black team with that 7-0 lead. Long count at the line of scrimmage. They're going to run option to the right-hand side. Good looking play is almost knocked down in the backfield. Maragaja in a quarterback from Lance. Pitched that one to Johnson from Rapid River here in this All-Star game. Get a look at this once again. Good pitch, good cut. And I stand corrected, that's Wyatt Kulik from Superior Central. Not a 15, not a 14. It is interesting here, too, Greg, to see how these players, some of them have to adapt to the 11-player game.
Right.
Having played 8-player, like Superior Central has been an 8-player program since its inception a number of years ago when they used to form a co-op with Munising. And they're going to gun it here in the flat for Philip Nelson, who got popped from behind as he caught the ball, and Philip Nelson's 2 for 2 receiving. You see number 0 right there. Philip's going to be heading off to Liberty College in Virginia next fall, or this coming fall. And 2 for 2 on the offensive side for Philip Nelson right there. And I thought they would use him, and they certainly are. This time it's the left-handed thrower. And Nelson actually was falling down. I thought the defender may have gotten there a little bit too fast.
That was a nice diving catch.
Yeah, Brzezinski was there in coverage.
And he shielded himself pretty well, so the ball wouldn't bounce to be sure that his back was on the ground to catch it.
So the Black All-Stars moving the football. Bryce Buzzo from Ontonagon out to the top of your screen. And a receiver here left as well. And an I formation, they're going to send in man in motion, that's Nora. And they roll right, left-handed throw, guess who? It is wide open on the far side, nice little cutback, and getting drilled at the 19-yard line for the black team is James Milkey from Lake Linden Hubble.
Quick, quick, quick. Oh, is he fast and elusive out there.
I saw the gold helmet. I thought it might be Nelson again, but this time it was James Milkey from Lake Linden Hubble, and big number 89 has the black team rolling again. They will roll the clock as you see the run after the catch.
Good patience that time. Waited him to come underneath on a crossing pattern there.
Braden Nelson out of Calumet with the stick there at the end, but the black team in business here. Nelson split left. He's way off your screen. That's his foot down there in the left corner. Nora's on top with him split left. Waggle a man here from the line of scrimmage. And they're going to drop and roll left. Hit the man out of the flat. That's Nora. Got wrapped up at the 11-yard line. Got out of trouble for a moment. Still on his feet and finally pushed back.
No one really open deep, so he took the receiver that was open. They get many yards, but at least he kept the ball moving for a couple.
So black team again moving the football here.
Actually got 7. I thought he had less than that, but that was a good play by Norris to fight. Get some extra yardage.
Well, plays in from the sideline, and like I said, going into this, you can really see the different styles in what the coaches were looking for. And a good look there at the battle zone here on the lines. Kane Niebel at quarterback now. And he will call it out here with a 7-0 lead, looking for more. Nora goes in motion. And they give inside, and from the inside position, there he is again, James Milkey. And he's got the 8-yard run for the touchdown after the big catch to set it up.
A little inside trap that time, Mark.
Yep.
Wide open. Nice block in the front. He's quick he is. He's not going to miss that hole.
Get a good look at this and surprised a couple of folks. And the big fella's in the end zone with a high five there from Michael Englund from mid-pen. Morrow to kick on the extra point. Gorzinski with the hold, and he's going to hit it right off the upright, make it 13-0. We owe you our first break. We'll kick off with the black team leading 13-0 back to the Dome after this. So the red team has their work cut out for them here in the Superior Dome. And another kickoff here for Ricardo Morrow from Gogibic. And the soon-to-be former Miner with a good kick down to about the 10-yard line. Red team going to try and get some field position here, but bouncing off the pile, the returner, he's going to wind up losing several yards. And good coverage again by the Black All-Stars. And that's Kulik from Superior Central on the return. Awards banquet was last night. It's interesting, Greg. This is such an intense week. Then they have the awards banquet last night. The guys clear out their dorm rooms, pack up their personal stuff. They bring it all over to the Dome. When the game is done, they go home.
Yep.
It's just that simple. But both teams last night handed out their character awards. For the black team, it was Philip Nelson out of Negaunee. For the red team, they named 2 character guys. Drake Spickerman from Negaunee and Max Wilginen from Westwood. All three of them getting the scholarships to go with that, which is great, great news. They pitch to the right-hand side, and again, not going much anywhere. Great pursuit on the outside, and Braden Sundquist from Gladstone is going to be there first, and our first flag of the ball game comes with 6:37 to go and a 13-0 Black All-Star lead.
And Mark, you're not going to believe this. Who was involved in that personal foul? Mr. Van Buren, Eli Van Buren for Negaunee, and He is tenacious. We'll put that in one big word, and he's occasionally gets involved in a scuffle here and there because of his tenaciousness, but he's a blocker. Well, he can turn people around and block. Sometimes he gets a little bit too enthusiastic, but that's great.
Did they wave that off?
I think so. Maybe said he wasn't enough.
Well, they called the penalty, but I think they declined it to make it second down.
Yeah.
There was only a gain on the play of about 3 yards. Well, I mean, you take a look at these rosters here. I mean, you and I obviously primarily covered Negaunee this last year with our radio bit, but you know these names.
Right.
You know, I mean, you take a look, we remember very well Tyler Darmagray, who had a great game in that playoff game against Negaunee. Preston Gauthier from Ishpeming. Bryce Buzzo, we know all about him from Ontonagon. So just to get to see these guys play in person and to do their thing after a 3-yard gain there, it's going to bring up third down for the red team.
Well, Mark, too, you watch TV6 in the Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
In Friday Night Fever. And there you go. Now you see these guys performing all over the UP. And now you're here right now today in front of us.
No, these teams are stacked. Top to bottom, no question. We're talking about Eli Van Buren, number 8 right there. But there's Cole Pucci, number 26 from Gladstone, who just had a tremendous career. And that Gladstone team this coming fall is going to be absolutely scary. With Nate Young and what they've got coming back with that Gladstone team. That's going to be a very, very interesting Mid-Peninsula Conference this coming year. They're going to go misdirection in the backfield, and they give for a first down. And up ahead they go. Good-looking run here as with the rock is Vincent Martin out of Bark River Harris. And he'll take it into black team territory and a big, big run, and that's what the red team needs to do.
See, a little misdirection with your cross trap that time, and he had everybody fooled. Everybody went to the ball fakes, and of course the cross trap is the misdirection play, and he had nice blocking on that perimeter over there, and the way he ran for big, big yardage.
Appreciate all of you joining us on the live stream here as we do the Superior Dome thing again for the 16th year. This all came back to life in 2008. And I remember that was kind of like, okay, what's going to happen with this whole thing? Because we didn't really know. And it was the great late Billy Blom that started to get this all put together. Todd Goldbeck, who does just such a tremendous job with this game every year, has got this thing to a well-oiled machine. Hardly any gain on the play here.
Well, Billy Bloom did a good job for organizing a lot of things. He was with the Market Iron Rangers. And big hockey expert, really, with the stick work and get those equipment ready to go for him and organizing the young kids. And now he comes up with this All-Star game.
Yep. That was McKissick on the carry there out of Forest Park. Of course, we lost Billy a number of years ago, but Billy was a part of that 1991 NCAA championship with Rick Comley and the Wildcat hockey team. A big part of that.
And Rick got to the Michigan Hall of Fame about time.
I was about to say, what took that so long?
Oh, he was phenomenal with this hockey program, Northern and Michigan State. And
Lake Superior before
that. Yes, and he played for the Iron Rangers back in the day. I remember watching him as a kid.
You as a kid or him as a kid?
Well, me as a kid. I'm not that old.
Well, here we go. Kalavecki with nowhere to go, and he gets wrapped up from behind. That, my friend's going to be on a 15-yard loss. Flying through the black team. And the Black All-Stars now, there we go. We go 40 on this side. It's interesting. That's Micah Paramaki from Munising on the tackle. And I've got red on one side and black on the other. And I keep getting them mixed around. And you've got all the big numbers in front. You can read yours. I'm almost jealous in a way.
He got through that hole in a hurry. Paramaki did, and chased him down. He had nowhere to go.
So here we go. And pistol formation here for the red team, trying to get something going. Looking downfield, nothing there. Throw it out in the flat, and they short hop the receiver there. So we're going to be punting again for the Red All-Stars.
They're putting pressure on. They're putting pressure big time, and he felt it that time.
And that's one great thing about this All-Star game is you just saw the sportsmanship right there. Kalavecki at Iron Mountain took a bomb
he got hit
to the chest. And the guy who hit him once the play was over was like, dude, you okay?
Yeah.
It's interesting, too, because you and I ran into Phil Nelson, who we both know quite well. Before this one, I said, how is it playing against some of your teammates? He said, that's not the weird part. He said the weird part is playing against guys from playing with guys from Gladstone, Iron Mountain, and really enjoying it and having fun with these guys. And that's really the cool thing about this All-Star game is these guys are making friends for life this week. Luke Yardy, who works with us on the radio side of things, just telling me his roommate, one of his friends played in this game years ago, and the guy that he roomed with here wound up being the best man at his wedding. As here's Nora up the far sideline, got tackled at the last moment. That was the last white jersey that could make that play on Nick Nora.
And we've seen a block there, remember the old blindside block? He got nailed, and that opened the lane to run through. But I don't know, back in the high school days, that last year especially, you've seen that the flag thrown at that because you can't see the block coming. Right there, you see it before that.
I would say Sundquist on that one turned his head.
Yeah, before that one,
yep.
The guy got laid out. 13 got laid right out.
So here we go, and the black team with that 13-0 lead, knocking on the door again from inside. They're inside the red team's half of the field. They spread the offense again. No surprise here as the black team has all of that, and in the backfield they go. Good cut up ahead. And guess who? That's our friend Mr. Gorzinski from North Central. And doing what Luke Gorzinski did for the last several years for that North Central Jets team. Again, back-to-back 8-player championships, and not just kinda.
I mean, Mark, that was some great footwork right there.
Yep.
He danced in and out, and the quick feet, look at missed a tackle, and his quick feet got him out of trouble there. And his eyes are always looking ahead where he's going to run. Head's always up.
You can always tell the kids that have great coaching coming into this ball game. I was talking about that North Central squad the last couple of years. In the 2021 championship game here at the Dome, they hung a 60 bomb on Colon. 60 in a state championship game against a very good Colon team. So that should speak volumes to the talent that North Central team brought to the table, and looks like they're going to go again this year. As Gorzinski calls it out, going to give on the ride to the right-hand side. Not a lot of room there, but opening things up nicely for Wyatt Kulik from Superior Central.
Looks like an illegal formation.
There's a flag on the far side of the field, so we'll see what happens here. Clock will stop, 2:47 as you see here at the Dome.
Yeah, they weren't lined up in a line of scrimmage together. You had half on the line, the other half were back 2 yards.
Yep, illegal formation, so that'll back them up. And if I'm not mistaken, Greg, that's the first negative play for the black team in this quarter.
First penalty because they declined the other one.
Yep. So 1st and 15, and that's the first negative play from scrimmage that the black team has had. They've not really moved it at will, but they've certainly been able to move the ball. Split the formation here for the black team. And Gorzinski is going to dance his way to the other side of the formation, and they go direct snap into the backfield. And you know what? Sometimes the mistake can be the best thing that ever happened to you. That looked ugly from the start, but it worked nicely there. As picking it up was Caden Calcari out of Menominee. And that's a guy that you and I saw this year once, and good-looking football player for the Maroons.
That was a snap that one hopped him right there. It hit somebody in line of scrimmage, somebody's side or something, and bounced one hop to him, luckily.
As you see the multi-decaled helmets, which, that's one of the charming things about this game, is the way that it's a little confusing from a broadcaster standpoint, but for one game a year I can live with it. We're going to take a timeout. We owe you one here as well. 13-0 black. Get this first quarter wrapped up in just a moment. Appreciate you coming along here in the Superior Dome this afternoon. After the timeout, the black team has what they want on 2nd down and 6, as they are just inside the 20-yard line and moving again on this red team at the Superior Dome here today. And a scrambled formation in the backfield. They are going to give the handoff to the right side, and closing the door nicely, the red All-Stars, but not before a couple of yards gained. Is that Jersey Karki, sure enough, from Westwood. Patriots coming off a little bit of a down year last year, but that program's really come to life over the last several years.
Yeah, I know. Another look like they're a little tough scenario here for the next couple, too, so it goes in cycles.
Yes, it does. High school football, that's just the nature of it.
Yeah, nature. You can't recruit. You can't go out there and get your 4 or 5 stars like you would like to get and then stack them up. Well, those days were even gone with everybody spreading all over their college campuses.
Yep. That is Buzzo spread out to the top of your screen. That is Leo Imhoff from Gogebic down here to the left side of your screen as they're mixing it up. And Gorzinski going ahead, and he just dodges his way through to about the 10-yard line. And like I said earlier, that's what Luke Gorzinski does, and he's got himself a first down.
Those feet never stop moving. They're always looking for someplace to go. But in order to do that, Mark, you've got to have great field vision. So your eyes and your head have to be up all the time.
And we're down under a minute to go, as you see here in this opening quarter, one that the Red All-Stars really want to make sure they keep the black team out of the end zone, as they're already 2 scores in. And the red team struggling a little bit here on offense. They've been moving the football, just can't complete the drives. There's Gorzinski again under center with an I formation behind him. Quick inside handoff and a great tackle, or that's a touchdown. James Milkey again on the carry, but who was that? That's Sundquist in there for the Red All-Stars with a great tackle. Watch this.
Yeah, he had to make sure he held on for dear life. Otherwise, it was a touchdown.
Make that Dylan Robb, rather. Nope, that was right in the first play. I was right the first time. That was Cart. I keep seeing that thing on the field right there, Greg. Looks like a flag next to the referee. It's not. So the red team got their wish. They kept the black team out of the end zone. 13-0 after 1 will switch ends, which will make this roster a little bit easier to read. And the All-Star game continues here on this Saturday afternoon. Black team looking for more. That 13-0 lead. They moved the football again. They split 2 receivers out to the right-hand side. And Gorzinski there wearing number 11 out of North Central. Ready for the play on 2nd down and goal. Rolls right, looks, waits, end zone, touchdown. And Nick Nora with the grab out of Kingsford. The former Flivver has the black team on the board. First play from scrimmage here in the second quarter. And it's 19-0, and they'll try the extra point again.
Caden Brown almost had that interception on the goal line.
Yep.
He just reached it. It went right through his hands. That would have been a beautiful pick. Could have been a pick 6.
Well, I don't know. You got Nick Nora traxing
Yeah,
down from
that's speed, but still, it could have been.
Oh, yeah. But for not.
Touchdown.
And Ricardo Morrow is going to have a tired left leg at this rate. Kickoffs and extra points and more. And try and come in here and make it 20-0. Snap back is good. Place it on the tee. A little chip shot with the 9-iron. And there we go. And we'll kick it off to the red team here in just a moment. Get another look at this here, Greg. Just a well set up play.
Yep. I think he put his hands down. The ball went over his hands.
Yep.
Misjudged his timing.
So this is the 16th year in the modern edition of the All-Star game, Greg. It dates back to 1946 when they got together. The games actually played at Negaunee. And the first year the coaches were out of Munising and Stevenson. Take a look at the coaches starting in 1947, 1948, 49. The MHSAA, after the first UP football All-Star game, banned any UP coaches or Michigan coaches from coaching in that game. They could lose their gig. They could lose their job coaching. So they continued it with great coaches like Arthur Krieger, who coached at Marquette University. And Win Brockmeyer out of Wausau, Wisconsin, coached the North team in the 1949 All-Star game. You know why that counts? Guess who one of his greatest players was? Win Brockmeyer.
Brock.
Nope. One of his greatest players was Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch.
Well, you know, up here is coaching too. Look at Frosty Fazaka coached.
Yep, he was at Green Bay West.
And a big Northern Michigan University.
Absolutely. So the history of this game is rich and at times somewhat controversial from the early mid-1940s. Another short kick. He brought down about the 20-yard line. Red team just trying to get some field position here. And they wanted a face mask. They're going to finally get one, and that'll put 15 more yards on this one. I saw it from here. The official there on the line looking downfield, it was the backside official that actually made the call. So the red team here, Greg, this is exactly what they ordered here. Down 20-0 here early.
The return man now does have no leggings, no thigh pads, no knee pads. He has a pair of shorts on with shoulder pads and a helmet. I've never seen that before. I've seen right down to your knees, kneecap, but never this pair of shorts like we are wearing right now.
Well, you see it at college. You see like a lot of the speed guys out on the edge for receivers, they'll go without the leg pads. But at this level, it's unheard of because
they'll have a little thigh pads at least, but he has nothing.
Yep.
He's like going to the beach with a pair of shorts.
So here we are with the red team. Ball at midfield with 14:46 to go until halftime. And you try and get something moving here. Second man to the pile is Pucci. And Cole Pucci gets a good 4-yard gain from that. Cody Dobb stepping in at quarterback, the Ironwood Red Devil.
That's right up Nico's alley, the linebacker.
Yep.
Look, come right at me. Come on. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to give you a shot. I'm going to make a tackle.
So a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And there's a lot of guys for us to keep straight. So doing our best up here. But just enjoying this ball game with you. This is just such great talent that we get to see. As they're going to give inside man. They fake the second man through Pucci. Now this is a nice run, a little spin move there. As moving up is McKissick once again out of Forest Park, and he's going to be right at the marker, maybe third and a yard. Get a look at that big, big offensive line for the Red All-Stars. And you get some big boys like that. Cole Pucci running behind that. You kind of wait to see if they're going to actually be able to wear this black team down maybe a little bit. Third and a yard, and I'm just going out on a limb here, and I'm thinking it might be Cole Pucci on the carry. Just checking. Nope. Inside handoff. Fumble the football, and it's loose on the carpet. It'll be fourth down as the red team did recover.
You're going to have to go for it and get it.
Yeah, so it'll be fourth and about a yard and a half. Didn't really see what happened. I thought they used Pucci as the decoy on that one. Went inside with McKissick.
The inside quick hitter, and
yeah,
the handoff wasn't there.
That was doomed from the start. Nice play by the quarterback, Dobb, to jump back on that one. So fourth down. Red team has all three of their timeouts. Pucci on the carry. That's easy money right there. And a first down to the 39-yard line.
That's what you call power football at
Yes.
your finest right there. Give it to your tailback behind the fullback and just straight ahead, grinding out 3 yards.
Great thing about watching Cole Pucci at Gladstone is there was very little sexy anything when he got the football.
No.
They had some great receivers. They got Nate Young, who's coming back for his senior year at Gladstone this coming year. We got Dharma Gray in this ball game right here. A couple of guys that could light it up from the outside. But when they went hardcore inside with Cole Pucci, they were playing football.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not afraid to carry the rock. They sent a man in motion here. Dobb under center is going to give first man through the pile. Getting upended is McKissick, but a flag flies here on the near sideline.
Ran a little trap that time and didn't get much.
Illegal formation again.
Imagine they'll decline this. Oh, no.
Well, first and 15
He got 3 yards, didn't he?
as compared to second and 7. I think this is kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, I take it. I thought he had 1 yard, but he got 3 out of that.
Mark Evans, Greg Nelson, our Fox UP TV6 and UpperMichiganSource.com crew. Interesting day here in the 16th annual edition, the modern edition of the UP Football All-Star Game. This is your first one, right?
Right, yep.
Nice crowd. I've seen smaller crowds for playoff games in here. So great support by the families and friends, girlfriends, and everything else of these kids. A lot of them showing off for the final time. Pucci on the carry. He gets it over left tackle, grinding those legs. And just a fun kid to watch play as he gets most of it back and a yard or two on top of that. So back to about where we would have been on second down, about 7 or 8 here.
Right.
But we got to watch him carry the football. Clock is rolling here. First half, 20-0 black team. But if you're to take a look at the action in this ball game here, Greg, seems a lot more even than that. Just it's explosive plays.
It's the big plays,
yeah.
right? Their Central's quarterback made some big ones.
I don't know if we can zoom in at all on the quarterback Dobb, but that Red Devil emblem on the side of the helmet is one of the coolest ones out there right now. As they've got Twins left, and once again they go inside. Just not much there for McKissick this time. And so a little bit of adversity here. As you take a look, there it is, Greg, the fork on the side. That's just a sharp look.
Again, you got Jed Anderson for Gandhi just holding his own in there.
Yep.
Just doesn't give any inches at all. It stays there in his gap, and that was a good play by him to knock that play down.
So the play is in from the sideline. 4 down territory, I've got to imagine here, Greg, for the red team.
Yeah, you got to get something going. If you're down 20-0, you got to score before the half at least, and if you don't score here, you're in trouble.
Well, the quarterbacks for the red team have dropped back to pass, but the rush has just been so good from this black team. Pro set behind Dobb this time. Pitch going left, McKissick, and look at that defense. Able to slow him down, shy of the first down, but now fourth and manageable here at 4th and 2. But we talked about the defensive push by the Black All-Stars, and you saw that again that time.
That was a nice run by McKissick that time. He waited, and he hit that hole fast. It was bottled up inside.
Clock will stay in motion here as you get a look at the Lake Superior side of the Superior Dome. If you've never been in here for a football game, do yourself a favor. This is a great place to come on a raw, windy, snowy winter afternoon. catch some college football. There's our first time out of the second quarter. We'll join them here. It's 9:59 to go. Red team trying to move and get something on the board here in the 16th UP Football All-Star Game. Having a little fun up here atop the Superior Dome. Alongside Greg Nelson, Mark Evans, appreciate you being here today as we bring you coverage of the All-Star Football Game. 20-0 black team with the red moving and trying to finish off a drive. It is 4th and a short 2, as you see. And they're going to give second man. McKissick just kept his knees off the carpet, Greg. The officials have him right at the marker. And again, a good, hard, just solid run. I think they've got him for the first down. Yep. Not by much. Not by much. As you see Nico Lukarainen right there. Nico Lukarainen is one of my favorite stories. You and I did the Nagani game down at Grayling a couple of years ago. Public address announcer at Grayling said, I got that. We were going to tell him how to pronounce Lukarainen. So Nico, as a sophomore, gets into the ball game, 4th quarter. Gets his first carry. The PA guy says, ball carried by Jesus.
Yeah.
And here's the give to Pucci. And why not? Cole Pucci with a stiff arm. He gets hit from behind, but it's first down and goal for the Red All-Stars, and Cole Pucci finally got free.
A little bowling ball down there when he runs. Tell you what, he runs low to the ground and he runs hard.
And just take a look at this. You're not going to arm tackle this young man.
No, you got to get him up and you got to wrap him and you got to keep those legs going. You got to have some help.
And here we go as Dobb, give, Pucci ahead. Why not? And they are on the board. It is 20-6 and a good-looking drive that was helped out by a couple of penalties and a good kickoff return.
Power football. There's your big line right there, Mark. Moving people around, give them some holes to find. And like I said, keep your head up, your eyes up. You find those holes and then attack.
Well, you got to wonder, I asked you this, at what time or does it happen where this red offensive line, which is, there's a lot of small colleges that would love to have this size beef out there. Do they wear the black team down a little bit? Because there is a size advantage.
They can beat on you. Oh, definitely. Each play takes a little starch out of you.
Caden Brown out of Escanaba. Ready to line this one up. And again, there'll be no push from the defense. They'll place it on the tee. It gives it a shot high in the air and into the netting, and he missed it to the right. So both teams now with a missed extra point, but 20-6 now. And a little shot in the arm there for the Red Team All-Stars.
Yeah, nice drive. Nice drive. And back to the power football that they like to do, but the holes are opening up a little more that time.
We can look at George Nemi right there, one of the coaching staff here for the Red All-Stars. And boy, there's some coaching talent in this game too. We haven't had a real chance to talk about that. And you got Jake Wolf, who had a great run at Westwood. Brad Wilginen is a head coach here from Westwood. Gavin Sundberg out of Ishpeming. Matt Matson out of Munising, someone you're very familiar with. Mike Baruti out of West Iron County. Tyler Thomas in Ontonagon. The black team coaches, my gosh, Josh Franti out of Calumet, Robin Martela of Iron Mountain, Jeff Olson with all those great titles in Ishpeming. Paul Jacobson just took his Nagani Miners to a state championship game. Leo Gorzinski from North Central. So, yeah, there's some power out there wearing headsets, and I don't mean us, in this ball game.
A lot of experience. You got like Jeff Olson and Paul Jacobson hanging around for how long, you know? And the other guys are pretty young, really. Baruti's been around for a long time for West Iron. But a lot of young guys out there too, coaches.
So it being an all-star game, things get mixed up a little bit. Some of you might be going, okay, didn't the white and red team just score? Yes, they did. But with a 14-point cushion, they're going to get the ball back in an interesting little slant here in the all-star game. And it'll be a long, deep kick once again down to about the 15-yard line. And the red team got some great field position last time with the football, this time to the 30-yard line. And a big pile of former high school seniors right there. And on the carry, there is Kulik. Wyatt Kulik out of Superior Central. And I presented this question earlier, Greg. I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but like Superior Central formed as an 8-player football team. They've never known anything else. Superior Central kids used to co-op with Munising.
Right.
So how do the 8-player games players, the 8-player kids, adjust to the 11-player game? because it's a totally different world. Not better, worse, or indifferent. It's just it's just 8-player to 11-player is a totally different animal.
Well, still comes down to blocking and tackling, though. You know, that's the biggest thing.
Pucci just scored on the touchdown, gets a 5-yard gain there. I just find it interesting to look at some of the linemen.
Yeah.
Because that's where the big difference is in 8-player as compared to the 11-player game. And of course, the 8-player schools are traditionally going to be a lot smaller schools. You don't always have those large individuals.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a little smaller physical talent sometimes. Not that the talent's any worse. It just physically can be very, very different. So it is kind of fun to watch the 8-player guys like, well, Kulik there from Superior Central. The kids from Munising and Gogibic and places like that. It's another first down for the red team. And a good hard one more time for Pucci.
He's running well. He's running well.
He's getting the openings, which weren't there before, which is a big, big plus there for this red offensive line. And Pucci, that's just what he did for a number of years.
And then when you get him outside, Mark, you got a defensive back who's about half his size physically, trying to make a tackle, and then he's going to break those.
Pucci's not taking a break. He's going to stay in the offensive backfield there. That's Sam McKissick from Forest Park with him. This is McKissick on the carry. He gets wrapped up and piled down.
Well, he ran that pulling guard that time, Mark, but he didn't block anybody because that penetration was too good.
There's Nico Lukarainen, big number 24, on the tackle again. Clock continues to spin here. Now, these all-star games traditionally in the past, Greg, have taken days. We're moving along pretty quick here today.
They're running the ball a little bit. Yeah. That helps.
Of course, now I've just completely jinxed everything, but why should today be any different from any other ball game you and I do together, right?
Right.
So here we go again. 14 points the difference. Red team moving the football. Pucci with a head of steam. Boy, that was a perfect handoff. He got that football to him at full stride.
And there was nobody there for 5 yards to hit him.
And when Pucci can hit the hole and there's nobody there, that's when bad things happen to defenses. You know, it's Kalavecki. It's interesting, too, because you got Iron Mountain and Gladstone, who traditionally just gone back and forth when they've been in that same league for a couple of years. And it's so interesting to watch these players who played against one another play so well with one another, which is one of the beautiful things about this game. Single receiver either side, and here we go. Kalavecki give. And it's Pucci again. Cuts off his man to the left-hand side, finally wrapped up at the 23-yard line. And Cole Pucci with that big Gladstone G on the side of the helmet. Definitely drawing some attention now.
Beautiful run. Lukarainen put a finishing hit on him as he was going to the ground, and that had to hurt. Right, boom. Come up there and got him a shot. He fumbled out of bounds, but he was already down. But that had to hurt when you're on the ground. Lukarainen hit you.
And Cole Pucci is going to get a little water. It's not as hot in here as it's been over the last several years. That from the guy that's not playing in the game right now.
We'll get a fan up here, too, make it really cool.
We did a game here, Greg, and I think it was about 2011. It had to be 100 degrees up here during the course of that ball game. Kalavecki, kind of a broken-looking play, but the quarterback Iron Mountain makes lemonade out of lemons right there, and he gets about a 3-yard gain, but he paid the price, too.
Actually, the tailback got confused that time a little bit. He could have went to right with the quarterback. He could have got a pitch from him, but he stood there and watched him instead, and that play might have been a great play with a pitch.
But remember that, you know, as you see the Iron Mountain helmet with the Mustang from Munising on the side of it, you know, these kids have been playing together less than a week.
Yep.
And the fact that we're seeing the plays that we're seeing is phenomenal and speaks to the coaches and to the level of the players.
And the kids, right? They got to comprehend that stuff. And some of it's the same, but different terminologies. But it is different, yeah.
So Kalavecki's got the Munising Mustang on the port side and the North Central Jet on the starboard. And, and the XL sticker there in the back. Anything else up there?
They're having fun.
Oh, there's the fork.
Yeah, they're having fun, Mark. That's the name of the game.
Oh, yeah. I think most of these guys have the fork on their helmet from Ironwood. Timeout is going to be taken here. As, again, this game has become quite entertaining here at the Superior Dome, inching our way towards halftime. And like I said, it's kind of an interesting story because this is the grand finale for last year's football season.
Yep.
You know, you and I were fortunate to be down at Ford Field for that Nagani game. As we take a look here at some of the scoring in this ball game so far. And the great catch there by Nick Nora from Kingsford with the Gladstone G on the side of the helmet as always. And again, we'll see some of the offensive side here for the red team. The fumble here that could have been a disaster. It wasn't. Pop with the cover there. And after that, it was some good solid running here. And the give to Pucci, and he's just going to head up Steen. So Pucci and big 31 there is McKissick. You see Pucci with the touchdown right there, and that's where we stand. And again, you see Pucci getting hit once again right there, and he took a real shot here. This is what Greg was talking about. Kind of let up, knew he was going to get hit, and yeah, here comes Van Buren. That's what I do. So with the timeout here, both teams collecting their breath. And this would be back-to-back drives here for the red team, Greg, which is exactly what they were looking for. Down 20-0 at one point.
Makes a difference. You score and get the kickoff back, too.
Yeah.
There's no blowouts that way, really.
Single receiver either side. Give Pucci again. Cuts again. And, man, I tell you, that defensive line of the Black All-Star team really starting to wear down a little bit. You see Easton Polomacki there on the tackle. Great senior year for Easton Polomacki, but what could have been because he had that wrist injury.
Oh, right. Yeah, and he played halfway just. He only played on defense, couldn't play on offense. And that was a shame because you hate to waste your senior year. You started both ways to begin with, but it give an opportunity for Nagani to have another running back.
Well, he made up for it by being the Westpac Defensive Player of the Year.
Right, yeah.
And we saw him with a blitz tackle up at Calumet week 2 this last year that I'll never forget.
Yeah, see, they had a lot of opportunities to blitz from that linebacker spot over the years Nagani has, and a lot of guys prospered in that role.
Kalavaki, the Iron Mountain Mountaineer, under center, going to give. Second man to the pile. Got a great block from Pucci. And McKissick on the carry. And again, it's bread and butter time here for the Red All-Stars down to about the 6-yard line. Pucci, boom, right there. Shoulders a man out of the way. And McKissick doing the rest.
Nothing better than a tailback with a lead blocker in front of you who destroys somebody. And you can just read his block and go left or right off of it.
Well, we were joking at the outset of this one about each team and how they picked, and both teams picked well, apparently, as McKissick again got undercut there at about the 4-yard line. But the black team on offense picked a lot of finesse guys, as we talked about. You know, they're picking Philip Nelson out of Nagani. Nick Nora has a touchdown out of Kingsford. Preston Gauthier out of Ishpeming. You got Buzzo out of Ontonagon. Tyler Darmagray, guys like that. Keaton Calcary out of Menominee. Kane Niebel had a great year in Munising. Luke Gorzinski from North Central. They picked the skill guys. Well, here's the big guys for the red team who are starting to do their damage. Spickerman out of Nagani. Kilpel out of Calumet has been key in this ball game. Koskell out of Lakeland and Hubble. So, yeah, some really, really big names. We owe you a break. Let's do that here, and we'll bring you this second down and goal in just a bit. Second down and goal for the Red All-Stars from the 4-yard line. Kalavecki will step in under center. Look at that offensive set behind him. Little misdirection play. Straight ahead they go. Did they get it? Yes. Touchdown, Red. And they surprise everybody with the quick snap off a center, and away we go, Greg, and it is 20-12 now.
Yep, it's nice to get that kick back. Like I said, score, you get it back again to score again because it eliminates the big lopsided scores.
So it's Caden Brown once again. Hooked the last one. And he'll try and make it 20-13 here with 3:47 to go here till halftime. Snap back to the tee. Get the wedge out. Have a knuckler again, and he missed this one left as well. So 0 for 2. Kicking extra points. Let's take another look at this. Kalavecki straight ahead. That's a great play in an all-star game.
Right, just follow the troops up front. You know, just push and push and push, and you're going to get a couple yards.
And like we talked about, that red offensive line might just be wearing the black defense down a little bit because it's a decided advantage with size. And watching the bench, I mean, Cole Pucci was on the bench for a little bit here, but he's up and away. Kalavecki catching his breath there.
She's still a warm down there, though.
Oh, yeah. Remember years and years ago calling some Northern football in here, and the whole shirt, tie, coat, and just, oh boy,
yeah.
that was like wearing a sauna suit.
That's not good.
This is much better. Golf shirt, shorts.
Yep, definitely.
So it was 20-0, the black team a bit ago. The red has now made it 20-12, and they'll kick off. That Pucci with the ball in the tee, sure enough. Mr. Swiss Army knife here for the red all-star team. And he's just going to blast this one along the ground, and they decided not to let it go out of bounds, and a good return, actually good field position. And a heads-up play by the black team's Micah Paramäki from Munising. Another one that made Stang Nation very, very proud over the years.
Oh, yes. They had some good years the last couple, football and basketball. Munising came back a little bit. At one time in the 80s, they were state champions in football.
Oh, yeah. Was it a double C or a C that they won?
C.
Class C 1980, and then they won.
Norway was good back. Norway won state championships also, so you had 8-man football teams right now. Munising and Norway were state champions at one time in Class C.
Well, that's the ever-changing world. I remember watching a state quarterfinal game in here when Sutton's Bay was in, and now they're not only 8-player, they're Division II 8-player, okay. And they were D6 at the time playing in here. So the landscape continues to change as Gorzinski's going to float this one just out of the hands of the receiver. A little shaken up after the landing on that one. Is a good effort there. It's Calcari out of Menominee. And I tell you, he's able to hit Calcari. He might just be dancing. He was open out here in the flat. Just out of his reach.
Yeah, you got to turn that up after he caught it. The ball was in stride. He could have busted that open.
Well, in defense of Gorzinski, that throwing on the run.
But the last, remember that throw to Philip Nelson, he threw on a run opposite this throwing hand, which was more impressive off of 1 foot.
But he still did float it. I mean,
it was a floater.
Philip made the play.
You're right.
But we'll go pistol this time with Gorzinski. Man in motion and A.J. Prosser. Here's Gorzinski dropping back, looking. He's got great vision. Gunning it downfield, got his man open, Nora, and it's going to be a face guarding penalty and interference against the Red All-Stars as Brown from Escanaba got all kinds of tied up.
Definite interference call.
And Nick Nora did that for the Flivers all season long. Just down season. Yeah, look at this right into your leg. Honestly, if he's not face guarded, it's a touchdown.
That was a great pass, done. He was open.
Yep. Nick Nora already has 1 touchdown grab today. Almost got himself another one. Offensive passing. No. Yeah, defensive pass interference. Thank you. Now, granted, that's the smart play as the defender. It's a 15-yard penalty as compared to the NFL, where they put it down at the 20-yard line.
That play should have been where it was, because it was not like a hold going across the middle. It was a play of you couldn't catch the ball because he was mugging you.
So here we go. Long count at the line at center, and with the snap from center, wearing number 9, Kane Needle out of Munising. And not a whole lot there, and the red team here, Greg, starting to stand a little taller. It was 20-0 for a while. As you see, Jersey Karki right there has wrapped up a great career with the Westwood Patriots.
That time he faked to the fullback and he followed him just to hold on a line further, and didn't get nothing.
You mentioned Norway, that N on the side of Michael Peterson's helmet. He's a Norway Knight. Who was that coach back in the 70s?
Dick DeVenzio? No, not
D'Annunzio.
D'Annunzio.
Coach D'Annunzio.
D'Annunzio. He was a heck of a coach, boy.
Split a receiver either side here on 2nd down and 10 after no gain. Now a man comes in motion way across the formation. Here's a double pass.
Pass out of it.
And they're going to throw it. He got a man wide open, just out of the reach of Peterson, the aforementioned Norway Knight. Good looking razzle-dazzle. He just missed the play.
Well, I tell you what, that was a nice setup. You could tell it was going to be a pass because he's about 5 yards behind everybody, and he was open.
Well, they set it up nicely as Niebel with the pass back. And that is Nick Nora with the throw. And, sometimes when you're not a quarterback in a regular play, and they call it trick play for your adrenaline gets to the point where he could have thrown that probably up to Ishpeming and back.
He was getting pressured, though, too. He couldn't really step into his throw that well.
3rd and 10 here for the black team. This is the longest third down they've faced here in this ball game so far. Philip Nelson split out to the left-hand side, the former Nagani Miner. That's A.J. Prosser outside of Nick Nora, and that's Prosser that's going to go in motion. Nebel looking, pressure coming, hit as he throws, man wide open. And this is to the 20, little juke move there, little razzle-dazzle. That is Calcari out of Menominee.
Nice play.
And a great-looking play for the black team, and they're in business once again. And I know it's an all-star game, and defenses can get mixed up, and no one should be this wide open.
Ooh, he got open. And again, that throw had to be there, though.
Yep.
Be accurate with it.
So 14-yard line for the black team, trying to tack something on here at the end of the first half, already leading by 8. 16th edition of this UP Football All-Star Game, modern era. We talked about the original that goes back to 1946 to 1951.
I couldn't believe that was illegal. You couldn't coach in it.
The MHSAA deemed it back in the 40s that Michigan coaches couldn't be a part of it.
I don't like that.
Well, but at the same time, the downstate All-Star Game was legal. Diving catch is just out of the reach of Philip Nelson. Would have been coming back anyway as a flag flies in the offensive backfield. Yeah, they deemed it in 1947 that the UP coaches couldn't coach in this game.
Wow.
Oh, but the All-Star Game downstate?
So they got some adjustments they got to do to it. That's like the Constitution. Sometimes you got to change it a little bit down the road. I mean, you know what I mean?
Little UP amendment there for you?
You got to. I don't like some of the rules they have there. It's a whole different world now, and they have to expand with it a little bit.
Sports and commentary, courtesy of Greg Nelson. Although I don't disagree with you. So it's 1st and 15 as you see the diving attempt there by Nelson. Open the game with a big catch out at midfield to get the black team out of a 2nd and 20 situation there. So move back to the 19-yard line now. Plenty of time here and a timeout remaining for either team. So just positive yardage here, Greg, on this 1st and long is really all you're looking for. So you got plenty of clock to play with here.
Right.
Nebel and pistol. Calls it out. Looking. Guns it. He's got his man from Menominee once again. That's Calcari.
That was a little out pattern. The wide receiver ran a post pattern, and the inside receiver ran a sideline, and he was wide open over there again.
So Caden Calcari out of Menominee makes it a 2nd down and 5. And like I said, you just wanted positive yardage, and they got it in a good-looking play.
Clear out that cornerback with that post pattern. He cut underneath.
Actually, a nice tackle coming across there from Lucas Swedick from Superior Central. But the black team had that 20-0 lead. They've given up 12 straight, now moving the football again as we wind down the first half of play. Twins right, slot right. And they'll go pistol once again with Nebel, who's going to be alone in the backfield now. Long count for Kane Nebel, why not? Calls his own number, straight ahead he goes, and he will walk himself into the end zone. And it's another touchdown for the Black All-Stars, and Kane Nebel, just a part of that terrific group of kids that are graduating now from Munising, D4 State Boys basketball champions. Very, very successful 8-player football, an inch from making it to the Superior Dome for the championship game with the Mustangs. And that is one of the reasons why.
He didn't get touched for 10 yards. Just as he crossed the goal line, somebody got a hand on him.
First one to meet him there, A.J. Prosser, the Ishpeming Hematite. Ball on the tee, kick is up, kick is through, kick is good. And with $1:23 to go, it is a, once again, comfortable lead here for the black team All-Stars.
They're explosive. The Blacks more explosive, I think, and that really shows here with their.
I like the contrast, though.
Yeah.
I really do, because during the regular season, and you and I have called high school football on radio for 1,000 years. During the regular season, there's so many teams, as you see this great crowd here in the Superior Dome today, so many teams are just identical.
Yeah.
You don't have a team that has the firepower from top to bottom like the black team there they are was able to pick during the draft. And so they've got different options that you normally wouldn't have during the regular season. More teams look like the Red All-Stars. Yeah. Where they've got the good offensive line, they've got the big kids up front, they'll have good things happen in the running game.
Well, the thing that we see, too, though, as we get on state in the playoffs, you see downstate teams use spread because of turf, because of weather. Up here, doesn't matter if it's turf, grass, or it's weather.
Eventually it's mud.
It's mud, cold, wind, snow. And you can't run your spread offense stuff. You got to be power football team, a la Nagani. Marquette got away with it for a few years with their skills, you know, and they could run a spread back in the day a little bit. But for the most part, Ishpeming ran the power football up the middle.
I was about to say, let's talk about those hematite teams under Jeff Olson for those state championships that they won. This is a team in Ishpeming that never really had those big guys, but made it to Ford Field 4 years in a row. And it was because of the style of football that they were able to play. This is interesting on the reception here for the red team. Grabbing that is Lucas Swedich out of Superior Central, but almost like he took it away from a couple of his teammates there. Yeah,
but Ishpeming had that pistol with you had two good quarterbacks, you know, and their line said wasn't great, but they're quick and they got great angles to block. And on defense I was impressed by Ishpeming because they were upset if they didn't make a tackle. So you had 6-7 guys get to the football because I wanted to make a tackle. You know, I didn't want to watch you make one. They were aggressive as heck, and they swarmed to the ball, and that's what made them effective. There was a defense.
Well, I just remember that 2015 championship. They led the state in Aussies.
Yeah.
2 of them there in the offensive backfield. Both of them went on to do great things. Pap's going to give to Pucci. Cole's going to get wrapped up as he tries to get towards the sideline. They're going to keep the play inbounds.
Palomaki.
Once again, Easton making the play there on the sideline.
And if there's a guy who wants to get involved in a little something, Palomaki's right there too. He's not afraid to mix it up in there a little bit. And Pachi's a little bit of a time bomb once in a while too. So that's a good combination out there, those two.
You know, we talked about the teams and the powers sometimes that you see up here. Gladstone is another one of these that over the years has been a very physical, hard-hitting team. Calumet.
Well, before Gladstone went to the spread, the last few years they had those linemen, like you said, 6'4", 260, and they went right at you.
Kalavecki misdirection, pitch in the backfield. And they're going to look upfield here. That is Vincent Martin out of Bark River Harris. Martin up ahead, cuts it through into the 40, 38-yard line for the Red All-Stars. Stop the clock with 20 seconds to go. A little razzle-dazzle there in the backfield.
Well, here's a good one right there. Watch this play at the end. Palomaki just drilled the running back. And I'm looking at, for Nagani,
what happens here?
Is that Keel? Who is the Nagani guy that gets right in Palomaki's face? Is that Nagani guy, 70? Is that, or who is that?
Palomaki
no, right there was the Iron Mountain guy.
Okay.
You're right in his face. He got him. Don't hit my guy like that. He protected his running back. Right after Palomaki, he went, give him a shot to the chest. And they're teammates, you know. Hey, come on. They're protecting my guy.
Well, you don't need an additional 15 yards after a run like that.
That was a great play.
It was a great play, like I said, the misdirection in the backfield. We talked about that offensive line. Look at 72 right there in Kilpula from Calumet. I remember him head and shoulders above everybody in the ballgame we saw up there last year. And here he is in the All-Star game and definitely making his presence felt. So now if you're the red team there, Greg, here's the problem. You're built to run it on the ground. You got 20 seconds to go. You're out of timeouts. You got about 35 yards of real estate to cover. And they really haven't had. Now, Calvecchi can throw the football. We saw that last couple of years with Iron Mountain.
I would loosen up. I wouldn't let him scramble around and break some tackles. I'd make sure I rush 3 or 4 and put everybody back. Keep everything in front of you right now. Yeah, just rush 3 and drop everybody.
So they're splitting the field here as the Red All-Stars. Pucci in the backfield. A little bit of motion, not called. Calavecchi's going to float this one. Got his man. It is caught for a first down. Is that Pucci? Dylan Robb out of North Central with the grab. Set the change. They haven't set the change yet. Wind the clock. Doesn't matter. They're going to go, and a direct snap into the backfield goes nowhere. Great play out of the Black All-Stars. Is that Palomaki that got in there?
No.
And they snap the ball, and it doesn't matter as a flag flies. So if it's a defensive penalty, unsportsmanlike? What do we got here? If it's a defensive penalty, the half can't end. We'd have an untimed down.
That was Andrew Weber with that tackle that time. Halftime.
All right, so it is not a defensive penalty. And the white coaching staff, the red coaching staff in the white jerseys trying to get a clarification here from the officials. You think this isn't competitive?
Holy cow, you don't see that too often.
No, you see them right now. Todd Goldbeck, organizer of the event, he's down on there for you as well. Now some of the black coaches coming across. Black All-Stars are already in the locker room.
But the white coach, I mean, the red coaches are out there, they're really on these referees hard. They want another play.
At the very least, they want the explanation.
Yeah, they want another play for sure. And the referees, look at that.
They might be calling the black team back out of the locker room. Well, there's one thing about All-Star games here, Greg. Everyone out there is a winner.
Yep.
How do you get to be a winner? You're competitive.
Right.
And the red All-Star team staying on the sidelines. And honestly, all we can do is speculate.
Well, everybody's going for a drink and a popcorn. They don't know what's going on yet. The black team's in the locker room
trying to keep an eye on the referee in the white hat here.
Yeah, they're waving them back out.
So they're bringing the black team back out.
Got to get the clock situated on. What is it, about 10 seconds? You got to snap it real quick.
Well, there was 1 second left when they got the snap off. And I love that the red team is already lined up in formation, ready to go. And here come the black team All-Stars out of the locker room. Still have not seen an indication. I saw the signal for unsportsmanlike. And that would have been against the red team, because now, Greg, it's second down and good grief, 25? 1 second on the clock.
Hey,
now, here's the thing. Remember, the clock is going to start immediately.
But you got to get these coaches off the field here first, and then they'll be able to get a play off.
I stand corrected. The play will start on the snap because it was a penalty.
Right.
So they set the play clock in motion. Here's Kalavecki. This will be the last play, barring another penalty. Going to dance out of harm's way. Got loose. And he'll throw it back across the grain. Got his man open. And just not going to get anywhere. For the red All-Stars, there is Carter Johnson out of Rapid River, and that will end the first half. And a bit of a heavy play there at the end of that one, too.
Getting a little nasty out there, Mark. It's getting nasty. Both teams are getting after each other, a little extracurricular stuff, and hey, that's what you want to see.
Well, like I said, every one of these players and coaches, they're winners.
Oh, yeah.
And so there you have it, 27-12 at the half. Black team on top here in Marquette. Well, you take a look at some of the crowd here for the 16th annual UP Football All-Star Game. It has been a little bit of everything here. A lot of smash mouth from the red All-Stars. A little bit more finesse as we expect from the black All-Star team. Black team leads it 27-12, but we've still got 30 minutes of football here in Marquette. Second half on the way. You're enjoying the UP Football All-Star Game. Red All-Star team right here in front of you at the Superior Dome in Marquette. My partner's Greg Nelson, Mark Evans. There's the hardware that they're playing for here today. Their horse, and it's a beautiful trophy. And as we saw at the end of the first half, they want that trophy. This is a very, very interesting end of that first half. They got a little heated, which is kind of nice to see.
Yeah, you know, the intensity of a game of football is amazing, and if you don't play with the intensity, that's when you get hurt. You know, if you go through the motions, and if you don't follow through on everything you do, that's when you get hurt, because you're not involved in it mentally as well as physically.
Well, just to kind of recap for those of you that are just logging in and tuning up with us here today, the end of the first half, a little controversial. There was a penalty called with a second left, and the black team just figured it was over, and they wound up in the locker room. The red team stayed out. Took a couple of minutes to sort it all out. They brought the black team back out of the locker room, lined up with 1 second left, got the play off. And it was a very spirited conversation, shall we say, between the red coaches staff and the officials. Even got Todd Goldbeck involved. He's the organizer of this game. Here's the other interesting difference at halftime, Greg. Just your thoughts on this. Black team went in the locker room. Red team went outside the east door here out of the parking lot.
But they didn't stay in the locker room long, though.
Yeah.
They were out here with 9 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go almost, just to get out here and stretch out, get out of the locker room area. It's going to be a good second half. And if the things picked up like they ended, it could be interesting.
And here's that last play with the second to go. There's Kalavecki with the toss, and this almost turned into something real nice for the red All-Star team if it wasn't for a good defensive play by the black All-Stars right there. And Tyler Darmagray from Gladstone making the tackle on Carter Johnson out of Rapid River. So we're back to live action here and getting ready for this third quarter to get underway. Black team getting that late touchdown to make it 27-12 where we are right now. 10-yard line. Again, field position has been a real key in this ball game. And cutting out from center and cutting to the left is Kulik once again from Superior Central. And the former Cougar gets it out to about the, we're going to mark this thing, right around the 28-yard line. So decent position once again.
See if they get the drive going at the end. They ran the ball pretty well that second quarter.
Like we talked about, I'm not going to be surprised if that red offensive line starts to kind of weigh a little bit on the defensive line for the black team because of the way the draft went. They went and got some large young men. Drake Spickerman is there on the line. They got Koskela, Keogh, Merck, Kilpel out of Calumet, guys like that. So there's some large young men, and there's one running the ball right there in Cole Pucci, who had himself a very good first half of play.
Good gang tackle that time.
So this second half will be very weird. There's Eli Van Buren, another good, strong young man. McKissick having a good first half there out of Forest Park.
The Luke Ryan in linebacker spot there, leading the tackle. There's about 4 or 5 guys wrapping them up.
Easton Polomacki in there as well, trying to strip it out of there. Yeah, this isn't competitive. No way, shape, or form. No, we showed you that trophy. Believe me, you want your team on that.
Right.
So here we go, second down and 8 after a gain of a couple. Just underway third quarter. And what has been a wildly entertaining game. McKissick is going to get free for a moment and grab at the shoulders after a gain of about 6. Manageable here, Greg, a third down and a couple.
Nice little hole there. A little misdirection.
See Paul Mackey.
Yeah,
This is what I was trying to do. Olay!
He's practicing that pull a ball out of it technique there. Yeah, he's a ball hawk. No good about that.
Part of that Negaunee Minor football team that made it to the state championship game back in Thanksgiving weekend last fall, which seems like 1,000 years ago, and here we are celebrating these guys one more time before they head off to doing what they're doing. Pucci again, just not much room there, but still running hard.
That's first down.
Yep, they don't ask how, they ask how many. He got the 3 that he needed. And again, it's all about field position, and the red team slowly moving their way down. Pucci's one of these guys that can find the hole even if it's not really there. He's able to find that little opening, even if only gets a couple 3 yards.
Because those feet are always moving, Mark. The feet are always moving. They're ready to cut off each read, and his eyes and head are up. You're not looking for do-worms.
They're going pistol this time. And a man in motion comes across the formation. Give to him out of the backfield. Good cut up ahead. Spinning out of harm's way for the Red All-Stars. Lawson out of Escanaba. And Trent Lawson with a nice carry of about 5 yards. Again, you'll see some trickeration, if you will, like that in this ball game. Now, there was no motion allowed in this game until about 3 or 4 years ago.
And usually they don't have motion.
Right. So they didn't allow that up until a couple of years ago, and then calmer heads prevailed and said, hey, it's football for crying out loud.
Right.
Twins either side, and they spread the offense. Haven't seen this from the Red All-Star team much. Dobb, give, left side. Trying to find something, anything, is Nate Benninger, the Marquette Redman. And he has his first carry of the ball game. You see the Northern Michigan University Sports Hall of Fame there in the background. And if you want to see a who's who of Uper sports, go walk along that wall one weekday afternoon.
Right.
It is impressive. Some of the people that are on that log, same up at Michigan Tech and Houghton. Some incredible names playing at the collegiate level here over the years in Upper Michigan. Who knows? Maybe one of these guys will be on the wall in a couple of years. I know both Northern Michigan and Michigan Tech will be well represented after this game by some very, very talented guys. They give inside, first down. Didn't need a lock, but they got it. And again, McKissick with the carry out of Forest Park.
Well, Jake Witt played here.
Yep.
And we played at Northern, he played at Tech, and then Northern, then he got drafted. I'll tell you what, he's a big physical specimen. He's going to make it, hopefully.
Well, Jake Witt was part of the opening coin toss.
Right. He towered over. I thought that was Will Chamberlain.
Yeah, and we're talking some big guys, as you see on your screen right here. This was like a skyscraper in downtown Ishpeming. It was kind of stood out a little bit. Crossing midfield, the Red All-Stars. Again, down by 15. Second man, Pucci. And he gets wrapped up beautifully. Throws his man out of the way. And decent job just to get back to the line of scrimmage. How about that stiff arm right there?
He didn't want to go down. he fired that arm at him and fired him away. Good effort for nothing yardage-wise, but just a great effort, period.
Is that Jed Anderson out of Nagani that he threw aside? No.
No. Give him a heave. Holy cow.
At 66, that's Terrell Matson out of St. Ignace. Getting tossed out of the way there by the strong Cole Pucci. And now former Gladstone Brave. So really the first negative yardage play on this drive here for the Red All-Star team. In a game that's much closer than that score would indicate. Single receiver either side, long count under center. Dropping straight back, Kalavecki out Iron Mountain. Looking, waiting, not much there. He's going to throw this one away.
He had him early, but he was running to. Ooh, he got a little late.
Palomaki was in pursuit of Kalavecki.
Jed Anderson, he threw his guy down after the whistle blew and they're looking for a flag. The red team is, but they're not going to get one.
So third down, and the red team going to try and keep this drive from stalling here.
That's a big play right here. You don't want to be 4th and 10.5. You want to get closer to the down marker for a first down. Make that 4th down much shorter than it is if you're going to go for it.
Well, they bring in Maxwell Scott out of the Sioux on this play. As Joey Kalavecki wrapping up a great career for the Iron Mountain Mountaineers, going to lead this drive here. Third down and 11. It's an allergy season after all.
Oh, yeah.
Pardon me on that. Twins either side here for the Red All-Stars. Trailing 27-12 here in the Dome this afternoon. He's Greg Nelson, Mark Evans, and our TV6 Fox UP and UpperMichiganSource.com crew. Kalavecki, nice job to get out of harm's way, but now still rolling. Pocket coming with him. Guns it sideline. It is caught.
Incomplete.
No, they'll say it's not.
Yeah.
Sliding out of bounds was Benninger.
Again, he had a guy shooting out early, but he's on a run. He couldn't see him as he's dodging potential tacklers.
And the second punt of the ball game. And wouldn't have mattered, he was out of bounds anyway.
Right. Who's returning the punt? If they can catch it, look who we got back there again.
Number 0 and number 1,
Nelson
Nick
and
Nora and Kingsford and Philip Nelson out of Nagani.
You hope it's only up with a 20-yard punt. You know what I mean? There's no return on those things.
If I'm leading the Red All-Stars right now, if I'm Brad Wilginen, this kick is going out of bounds to me on the sideline. And now they're going to bring Nelson up in a short position, and Nick Nora is going to stay deep.
For that short punt, yep.
And Philip Nelson also looking like maybe a fake. Pass back is a good one. It's a high, kind of a lame duck kick that, boy, I tell you, Nick Nora's got to get away from that thing. If it hits him, it's a live ball.
He was thinking about grabbing it. He was thinking about grabbing it a second time.
Turned out well for the Red All-Stars down to the 12-yard line. About to say, if you decide you're not going to return something, you need to run to the bench.
Get out of the way, yep.
So 10:05 remains here, third quarter. All of our scoring in the first half of play. And what has been a very entertaining football game this afternoon.
Yes, it has. It started off really explosive with some big plays, and then it kind of quieted down for those kind of plays.
As you see Paul Jacobson right there, doing what Paul Jacobson does, that's smiling and having a good time playing football.
I don't know who has more fun, him giggling or laughing or the kids playing. Because he's intense as ever, but he's to the point now where he enjoys it more as intense.
Well, when you talk about the kids, he's one of them.
Yeah, well, right, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he hasn't grown up yet.
No.
And you don't want to grow up. You want to be able to be communicating with your kids and be part of them.
So a spread formation here for the black team with that big lead. And they're going to gun it looking for Philip Nelson. He makes the catch to the 35-yard line. Great toss from Gorzinski, and Philip Nelson has his third grab of the ball game, and this one gets him out of the hole.
He ran a long, deep post, and he had the guy beat. He waited. It was an easy throw and catch.
And Gorzinski right on the money.
One-man pattern. You're not going to guard Philip Nelson in that scenario. You're just not going to do it.
Braden Sundquist not able to stay step for step, but he did make a great tackle after the play. Sundquist, of course, out of Gladstone.
Perfect pass, too, Mark. Right stride, just catch the ball. Nothing spectacular needed to do to catch it.
Single receiver split out to the right-hand side. Slot left is Nara. And Gorzinski's got one man who dances now with him to the right side of the offensive formation.
Different formation for sure.
Nora goes in motion, inside handoff. Good hole that time. And getting popped there as he crossed the line of scrimmage was Marco Jerzik from Newberry. Clock continues to roll here. This has been a quick moving third quarter. And like I mentioned, all of our scoring in the first half of play. And here comes the power play unit. You see
Right, they bring 4 or 5 people over to the sideline and
yeah.
run it when it played against the offensive backfield knows what's going on.
Yeah, full line change here for the Black All-Star team. Peterson has a grab. He's split out to the left side off camera for you. And a single receiver out to the top, and now they're going to leave Gorzinski alone in the backfield. He'll run the quarterback draw himself. Straight up he goes. And a great play, not Gorzinski that time. That is Karki out of Westwood. Jersey Karki with a direct snap and a nice play for the former Patriot.
Yeah, he brought the quarterback out in motion and lined him up as a slot. And Karki just hit up the middle and nobody around him.
Yeah, Westwood had their struggles last year, but he was certainly a bright light in that program.
But we got a flag.
Okay.
Wow. Big penalty. That could have been a legal formation that time because there people scattered all over the place.
I'm not wondering, yeah. Illegal shift.
Illegal shift, right. It's a real different look, and then plus he went motion out of it. So it's pretty confusing to stay online.
Clock back in motion here, 27-12. The black team with the lead with the ball. How's this combination? Nick Knorr and Philip Nelson split to the left-hand side.
No speed at least.
Sparty'd love that. Yeah, there's no speed out there at all. And Gorzinski's going to roll. Here comes pressure. Steps aside.
And look at that feet.
Pressure once again. Kicks around. Doing his Fran Tarkenton imitation.
Fran
Look at
Tarkenton,
this. Wide open. He stays in play and makes the throw legal. It is grabbed. And down to the 11-yard line. Man, I tell you, that's a great, great play.
Milky.
Yep. James Milky once again out of Lakeland and Hubble. But that play was created by the all-star that he is, Luke Gorzinski. Watch this. Looking, trouble. Get me out of harm's way. The 49ers are chasing me. Vikings are playing at the old Met Stadium. And old Fran Tarkenton got this guy open. That was impressive.
Well, if we have the MVP of the tournament so far, this game so far, it's that quarterback right there. He is slick, boys. His feet are amazing.
2-time 8-player state champion right here in this building for the Jets.
What an athlete.
Yep.
Quick and strong and fast and with arm strength and wow.
Slippery. They had him too.
Oh, yeah.
And he catches his breath and he'll take the shotgun snap here. They'll move a man in motion to the near-hand side of the play. That is Calcari out of Menominee. Gorzinski again dancing into the end zone. Look at this.
Amazing. Those feet are amazing. And his vision is just tremendous.
As you see the celebration there. And there's just no stopping this. Like you said, with that kind of footwork and that kind of strength and the speed on top of it, that's just deadly.
We made some great plays today so far.
Morrow to tip on the extra point here, the Gogibic Minor. Gorzinski with the hole, puts it on the golf tee, kicks it up through, and there we are at 34-12. We owe you a break. We'll kick it off. When we come back, black team starting to roll here in Marquette this afternoon. He's back here inside the Superior Dome. Greg and I just having a little college football conversation. We were talking about the Wildcats and the Huskies a little bit ago. It gets carried over into the Big Ten, that's all.
Can't wait till football starts, Mark. I'm telling you, I hate to give away your summer. Don't get me wrong. But the fall is the best time of the year for me, as well as you, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
With you got high school, you got college, you got pro football, and I tell you what, they never get sick of that. When
no,
it ends,
and you know what's really nice? We haven't had high school football since late November. It's nice to get this little blast of it.
Yep.
Here in the late portion of June.
Just right around the corner, you got your 7-on-7 camps, you got your individual camps. So it's getting there. So
another kickoff will be fielded by the red team, this one inside the 10-yard line. Looking for something to get open, that's Nebel. No, I stand corrected. That's red team, that is Magaraga from Lance.
Yep, Magaraya.
Yep, Magaraya there out of Lance. Under 7 to go, and you get a good look at this Purple Hornet moving upfield. Looked like he had a lane for a moment there, Greg, but good coverage downfield by the Black All-Star team. And I know it's an all-star game, but you got to really love the pursuit to the football, even on special teams.
They're all athletes. They all want to play.
So what's this setup here? Straight back. Trying to draw Cole Pucci ahead. He's going to wind up losing about a half a yard. Been no secret to what the Red All-Star team wants to do. They've just not been able to do it on a consistent level. I find it interesting. You're looking at the big guy here, Levi Kilpel out of Calumet. They're the left side of your screen with the gold, the silver helmet rather. He's got 2 Nagani stickers on there. If this was last August, he'd break into a rash doing that. That's why I love this All-Star game with the decals that the kids are using and just the fun that they're having. Not quite as fun for the red team just yet, as they're kind of in a big hole here, but a good cut upfield here by McKissick. And we've got whistles blowing.
Yeah, more in the face, talking, pushing, shoving. As long as nobody throws any punches, they'll hang around for a while. But if they start throwing punches, they'll be getting in the penalty box for the game misconduct.
Well, white. Forgive me, the red team, but they're wearing the white shirts. This is their drive. If they get nothing here, then you start counting really the clock against you here, 34-12. But if you get something here, and you can get the extra point,
you get the ball back.
All of a sudden, it's 19, and you get the ball back. Which we were talking to the guys from Fox Sports Marquette who've done this game on radio for many, many years. That's a rule that was implemented a couple of years ago, and it really has created some interesting moments in this ball game, but getting slowed down, big Trent Lawson out of Escanaba, Weber and Eichmeyer on the tackle right there, Jed Anderson getting in there as well.
You know that tackle there, Mark, he had about a jersey. He could have swung him down, it probably would have been a flag, but he got him. See, under his wraps, we put 2 hands on him and tackle him instead of just trying to grab him and fire him down.
Well, the other thing, too, is you don't want to rip the kid's jersey. It's his all-star jersey.
But sometimes you get a flag for that. Grab it, you keep swinging them, you swing them, fire them on the ground. That's sportsmanlike conduct.
No, you and I've seen that many times.
Oh, yeah.
You get that big helicopter tackle that's out there. Bad things happen.
He made sure he pull him back into him so he could wrap him up and then put him on the ground, which was a smart defensive move.
Joey Kalavecki, he's got the play from the Red All-Star sideline. Need something big here on 4th and 9. Don't need it all. But if you can get it to 4th and 2, 4th and 1, you might be in 4-down territory at midfield.
It's 4th down though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is, correct. They changed the marker at the last moment. Going forward here on 4th down and 9. Kalavecki back, and that's going nowhere because the snap just wasn't right.
And that was Luukarainen that got in there after that bad snap.
Braden Farah in there as well out of Iron Mountain, so the black team's going to get great field position here with 4:18 to go. Problem is just the snap. That throws everything off.
Yeah, as soon as you snap it down there, you're in trouble.
And there's 2 guys that know each other well, and Farah and Kalavecki both out of the Iron Mountain program. And it's funny, we like I said earlier before we got going in this here, you and I ran into Philip Nelson out of Nagani. We both know very, very well. And I asked him, I said, what's it like playing against your guys?
Yeah.
And he said, it's more fun to be playing with guys
that you played against.
That I played against, for 3 years at the varsity level. And that's just kind of funny the way that all comes to be. Timeout for the black team as they need to get get everything all in the same drawer. So we'll take a break. Our second one of the quarter, 34-12. Black All-Stars here in Marquette. Mark Evans, Greg Nelson. TV6 Fox UP and UpperMichiganSource.com presents the 16th annual modern era version of the UP Football All-Star Game. Turning it over on downs is the Red All-Star team. Here are the Black All-Stars cutting to the right-hand side of the field. First time we've really had a from scrimmage look from Karki in a while. And Jersey Karki out of Westwood with another nice carry. It's the other nice thing here, too, with an All-Star game, everybody gets a crack at it.
Right. Showcase game. Showcase all your people out there you got, and hope they all do well. Be proud for their hometowns and their parents and relatives, of course, and it's a great atmosphere for everybody.
Well, there you see number 50, Ross Pugh, had a great career out of Manistee. And Kane Nebel set to go here on the offense here for the Black All-Stars. 2nd down and 7. And everybody's in tight with the exception of a receiver to the left-hand side. And that's Imhoff out of Gogibic. Now man in motion, that is a delay inside. Not much there. They sent Nora on a end around in the backfield, trying to draw the attention of the defenders, and that didn't do anything for anybody.
They ran inside to try to catch them off guard inside, but no one left their lane at all. They stuck around. See, when you start following people in motion or you start following the football, that's when you get in trouble. You know, you lose your gap control, and as soon as you do that, you're in trouble.
It'll be 3rd down and about 6 as the ball sits the 30-yard line here at the Superior Dome. What do you like on this play here? The black teams have been doing quite a bit of mixing it up.
The rollout coming this way. If it's Neville, the quarterback, coming this way towards us with his left. You see that happening.
Nelson and Nora split left, man and waggling in motion. That's Prosser out of Ishpeming. Here comes the black team, and this is going to be wide open and dropped.
It, touchdown. He dropped a touchdown. He was too wide open.
Look at Paul Jacobson, too. Just wants to come over and give him a big hug. Oh, boy.
He had to wait for that ball to come. It took him about a half hour to get there. He's set wide open, and he couldn't wait no longer, and he wanted to run without catching it. Oh, look at, what a shame. He had touchdown written all over it. He walked in sideways, backwards.
Could have moonwalked into the end zone.
Yes.
Brings up 4th down, and you know what I do on this play, Greg? Run the same play. It worked.
See, he was going to roll out.
Yep.
He did, and he just found him on underneath, wide open.
All right, so Nebel has what he wants here on 4th down and about 6. Drops straight back. Here comes pressure. Across the middle, man's open. That's Nora. He's got the 1st down. Stiff-armed away. Hits the Jets. Touchdown, Black All-Stars. Good grief. Nick Nora's 2nd touchdown grab here in the former Kingsford Flivver is giving their quarterback, Rzinski, a battle for MVP.
The drag pattern underneath is went down 4 or 5, 6 yards and came right across the field behind the linebackers, and he was wide open.
And boy, hit the brakes right there on the defender, Caden Brown. And it was lights out after that. Moraro will try the extra point here. 2:10 remains in the quarter. And Lefty's going to slam this one through again, 41-12. Now if you're the red team, Greg, ball's basically yours the rest of the way out.
And they'll have fun playing, though. You know, they're not going to hand the ball off and 3 times a punt. So you have to make a stop in the defensive backfield against some of these receivers, and you haven't done it yet. So many weapons, and the quarterbacks are so proficient here now, too, with this team, that they're dangerous. But, you know, we still got together here. We're looking around. We were talking about this the other day, a couple of us, you know, and all-star team right here in this field. If you get your all-star team from this field, would they beat Grand Rapids West Catholic? And the verdict was no.
No.
The verdict was no.
Well, you can't put together an all-star team in a week.
Well, play during the season. You start off in August, you get your 2 days, and then one of your games in week 1 through 9 are those guys on the turf someplace. No. Because they are all-stars.
Yeah, like I said, I just enjoy this game every year.
Just
because it's a farewell for a lot of these guys. Remember, I mean, you know, there's a good couple of handfuls that are going to play at Tech, Northern.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
or maybe play it, or they might go there, but are they going to play there? There's a big difference.
Exactly. But for 99% of these guys, this is their last game.
Yeah, it is.
And they're out there just loving life because
the last time.
you know at the end of your career you might make the All-Star game, you might get drafted into this, you might not. So what an honor and what a thrill it is for these guys. As it is brought down at the 5-yard line, they're going to try and bring it out once again.
Look at that tackle, right out of Waller.
Uriah again out of Lance, and again he had a head of steam and just great coverage downfield. With 2:02 to go, 3rd quarter. And we'll see what adjustments the Red All-Stars can make here as they're in a big hole now, 41-12. They had made it 20-12 at one point, and 3 unanswered here by the black team All-Stars. And you've only got so many recipes in the cookbook here for an all-star game.
Right.
That's the other thing, too.
Yeah, you don't have the luxury of putting in 4 or 5 trick plays that might get you a touchdown.
Yeah, they're going to give, and running into his own blocker that time was McKissick. Yeah, we talked about that offensive line of the Red All-Stars. Can they move guys out of the way? And the answer right now is apparently not.
Luke Ryan just completely plugged that hole up and pushed his lineman right back into the ball carrier, which knocked him down. He's having a good game on the defensive side of the football today, Nico is.
And there's McKissick, the Forest Park Trojan. Gain of about a half a yard on the play. Misdirection in the backfield. They'll give. Cutting to the left-hand side. There is Martin also cutting outside. Vincent Martin out of Bark River Harris. And he's got a first down after a nice run on the misdirection play. Nice block on the exterior edge right there. And look at the receiver blocking downfield, too. Outstanding job, Carter Johnson, also from Rapid River, knowing that his boy was moving up at the field.
You know, we say if you want to have a good running game, Mark, you better have wide receivers that are willing to block. Because those are the people that spring you. If you get some good downfield blocks by your receivers, you're going to get some big gainers.
Cody Dobb under center. The Ironwood Red Devil going to give. Second man of the pile is Pucci, and he got through. Cole Pucci just about broke it at the 40-yard line. And he got out of traffic in a real hurry and all of a sudden had some open field in front of him.
Strong back. Never stops running. Never stops. Those feet are always
defender
turning.
There and get off of me.
And he's willing to throw a forearm at you or grab you and throw you off him too, which he showed already today.
More so during the regular season. They're a little bit more.
Yeah, they're not as big as these guys are, not as athletic. Some of those defensive backs I feel sorry for trying to tackle some of these guys because they aren't your all-stars, a lot of them. You know, these guys are, and they're still looking like they're hard to get them down.
Single receiver either side. To the right is Benninger out of Marquette. And an I formation here for Dobb and the Red offense. Looks, going to flow this one-on-one coverage is deflected beautifully. Getting back in a real hurry was Nebel. Nope. Let's see who broke that up. 16 that is. That is Carter Oshelski out of the Sioux.
He just waited back there to keep everything in front of him. Then he just decided to go out and knock it down.
Now, this one floated a little bit, but it's great coverage downfield.
Yeah, did a good job of covering.
As they had Benninger open, actually. If he doesn't float that, it's probably completed. 3 seconds to go till the end of the quarter. Big lead here for the Black All-Stars. Dobb steps in. Final play of the quarter, rather. And they give to Cole Pucci. Why not? It's a smart move most of the time, and that's a 5-yard gain as we end quarter number 3. Big lead for the Black Team All-Stars, quarter number 4, when we bring it back to the Superior Dome here at NMU. Fourth quarter. Superior Dome here in Marquette. Red All-Star team has it on 3rd and 5. Quick swing pass, and this is going to be complete on the left flat. A good, quick heads-up hitter.
No one was guarding him.
And no one making the catch is Martin once again out of Bark River Harris. You're right, no one was there. No one went with him.
Quarterback said, holy cow, stop it quick. He's open. Like, give me the ball. He threw it to him.
Former Bronco takes it out of the 40-yard line.
That was like stealing.
Yeah, that's about as open as we've seen a receiver all night. So a long way to go on this one, but the red team needs to cash in on this drive where this one's pretty much done. Single receiver either side. Kalavecki out of Iron Mountain under center, dropping straight back. Another quick hitter out of the flat, missed his man. Threw it behind Magaraya out of Lance. And that'll bring up second down and long. I like the play call, though.
Yeah, he was open. I still safe pass. And again, you're one-on-one over there, too. So if you bust a tackle, you got ways to go. Might get into the end zone. Make somebody tackle you after you make a good catch.
So that stops the clock. So the Red All-Stars might look like they're kind of dawdling a little bit, but they're not losing any time when the incompletion. And it'll be second down and 10. Maxwell Scott from Sault Ste. Marie split out to the left-hand side. They're at the bottom of your screen. And Kalavecki is going to look things over. Fake, misdirection in the backfield, and they look to run option. They do. It's more of a fumble than anything else. And it is covered wisely by Cole Pucci, who in a hurry got over there to save the day and keep the drive alive for the Red All-Star team. That just didn't look good from the start.
But he stopped again.
Yep.
Pucci stopped again. If he had kept on going down the line like a regular option play, like it's supposed to be, he could have still pitched the ball to him, but he was following, he pitched it, but he stopped and watched the play.
And that's just it. You're running an option play with two guys from Iron Mountain and Calumet, Gladstone, that generally don't run that type of offense.
No, they're not option teams.
I like the play call.
Yep, because he faked the.
I mean, you're a big guy on the option. You love the option play. That brings up third down, about 15. And we're in two-down territory for sure. And Kalavaki's going to drop straight back. Not much pressure this time. Guns at far sideline. Got a man streaking down, and it is broken up at the last
Great
moment.
Play. Good stop-and-go pattern there.
Looking for Martin and getting back defensively was Dylan Plunger out of North Central.
That's what safety does, Mark, right there. He had the cornerback beat. He left his safety spot, got a good angle ahead of him, which he did, and he timed it just right.
It would have been a heck of a catch, but it was catchable.
Yep, the safety did a great job covering up for his corner. Good help defense.
So there's Plunger right there. And that brings up 4th and forever, and this is not a Red All-Star team that's kind of built for these big plays like this. But Kalavaki's got what he needs out of the coaching staff. Clock stops on the incompletion again. And we'll see what they can dial up on 4th and 15.
Hard to get 4th and 15 plays completed. Not your basic bread and butter play by no means coming up here.
And that's what makes these All-Star games fun, because heaven only knows what's going to happen here.
Twins on this.
Oh yeah, either side, ball right hash mark.
One-on-one coverage.
Pucci joins Kalavaky in the backfield. Here comes pressure. Kalavaky straight ahead. Guns it, almost intercepted. Broken up, and it'll be the Black All-Stars taking over on downs. Looking for a little bit of some love there from the officials is Trent Lawson, the former Eskimo, but he's not going to get anything there.
A little bit of contact, not much. Get the feet tangled up a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good no call.
Yep.
So the Black All-Stars take over on down, second time here in the ball game.
That's what I like, Mark, too, the no calls. You know,
yeah.
Instead of look at somebody, you get a flag, or you touch somebody, you get a flag. No, let them play football. You know, let them get after it a little bit. You're stopping the guy from catching the ball. That's different. But both going after it, you're both playing football.
And like you said, I mean, it's contact kind of both ways.
Right.
So the Black All-Star teams kind of had their way here in the second half. They lead big. And they fake to Gorzinski. Direct snap this time into the backfield. And moving forward is Jerzek from Newberry. I like the direct snap there, too, because they got away from Gorzinski that time.
And he was in motion to get going on that side. He had some room to go.
Well, just about ready to get another one in the books here. With the Black All-Star team and the Red All-Star team, I just want to be, there's Jake Wick. We talked about him a little bit ago. And this camera length does not give his size justice.
This is a big boy.
It's a
and
large.
You know the amazing part of how big he is, how skilled he is. And
yeah.
all the things he had to do for his testings, wow,
yeah.
he plays so high.
Well, and the other thing, too, we talk about his size and his strength. Let's look at his football intelligence, too.
In a small school.
Yep. And came here and did well. They got a man open off the pitch and the toss. Gorzinski lines it up there, and he's got the receiver, Bryce Buzzo, out of Ontonagon. So the former Gladiator getting in on the offense here down the 30-yard line of the Red All-Star team.
Again, you got one-on-one coverage with a great quarterback. You're going to get open like that every time because you got to respect his speed. He's going to go by you for a touchdown, so you got to give you room. And he knows when he's going to cut. The defensive back doesn't.
Brown out of Escanaba on the tackle. We're under 12 to go here, fourth quarter. And the Black All-Star team looking to really slam the door here with a big lead already, 41-12. Nora inside of Philip Nelson. Both of them split left. What a duo that is in the receiving corps. Direct snap, straight back they go. And getting out of harm's way is the runner. That is Karki.
Again, great feet.
Yep, and Jersey Karki gets a slap on the helmet from Nick Nora.
That was a great run.
What's
some feet? Quick, but he's not just straight ahead quick. You know, it's elusive quick.
Well, it's quick. It's not necessarily fast.
Yeah, I mean, you're in and out of a tackle area real quick.
But those little juke moves, those little stutter steps take you a million miles.
And just think what a score could have been if they didn't get the kickoff back again.
Yeah.
The red team, after they scored. Before the game started, I said black team by a good number, and it didn't lie.
Direct snap once again. This one's bobbled, and Jersey Karki, I believe, no.
Thunder and lightning out there, am I hearing?
Yep. I just got a report from the home front that it's pouring up in the west end. I didn't see who took that snap.
I'm just hearing rumbles and rumbles.
Yeah.
We're talking about hail on the building here. Pretty soon we're going to see hail on a building.
Well, I think it was 2014 or so in here. We telecasted the All-Star game, and it hailed. And this building was like being inside a giant popcorn popper. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before.
We need the rain, though.
Oh.
But not, well, I think a thunderstorm, too. That's always
I'll
good.
take a thunderstorm
I love
any
it.
day.
I love it.
They fake to Gorzinski, second man through the pile, and a great move from Calcari. And the former Menominee Maroon is up near a first down. Calcari's one of these kids here, Greg. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he'll just make a difference.
Yep. There's so many players like that out here.
Yeah.
I mean, you got speed to burn. If you give them any kind of avenue to use it, you're in trouble. Yeah, nice to see these guys go at each other, you know. And it's not been a dirty game. A little chippy after the games go, a little push and shove, which is natural. But no spearing, no late hits where you're taking somebody's knee out.
Well, and we haven't had like the things you expect in an All-Star game.
Right.
False starts.
Right.
You know, no holding. We haven't had a holding call in this. Of course, I'm jinxing everything again now.
Yeah.
Calcari in the backfield along with Gorzinski as the black team moves to the left-hand side again. They must see something they like on the left side of that line, because they've been going left more and more and more, and this should be a first down for the Black All-Star team. It will be to stop the clock.
I'm going to make a goofy prediction here, Mark. Before this game is over, Lightning's going to strike and the power's going to go out. Just an off-the-wall prediction.
I can't take you in public anywhere. Gee, how do we add 45 minutes to Mark and Greg's life? I don't know. How about a power outage?
They'll just call a game.
You would think.
Yeah.
But if the power's out, how do they use the PA to tell everybody?
Loud voices. Wave them out. See ya.
Black All-Star team, big lead, looking for more here in Marquette. They're going to send Milky to the left side of the formation. And we're going to whistle and a timeout. It's going to be taken here by the Black All-Stars. So we will take our first break of the fourth quarter. Black team up big here at NMU. Well, again, it is first and goal for the Black All-Star team, and they've got exactly who they want in there. Luke Gorzinski at quarterback, going to send his man Michael Englund out of mid-pen in motion. Handed it to him, and not much there. Former Wolverine gets bunched up there on the left side of the offensive line.
That didn't fool anybody at that time. One of the only plays they stopped that was negative yardage.
Let's see what they dial up here after a slight loss on the play. Clock rolling, and what has been a ton of fun here this afternoon. Not so much for the Red All-Stars. This didn't go the way that they would hope, but it's like any other game in your life here, Greg. You look back on it 5, 10, 15 years from now, you just be honored that you were an All-Star.
Right. The score. Well, some people know the score, every stat there is, but a lot of people just don't really care about that.
They move Gorzinski out of the way. Direct snap into the backfield goes to Jerzek out of Newberry, and he's got another first down. Or actually, he's moved it forward. His first third and goal, I'm sorry.
We got people that still remember at junior high basketball how many points and rebounds they had.
Oh, yeah. I played high school football in Madison, Wisconsin. We played at Escanaba my junior year.
Okay.
Negaunee and Escanaba used to scrimmage, and I walked into Eskimo Stadium, walked right to that spot, and showed Greg, this is where I hit a 44-yard field goal.
Yeah.
And he told me I was lying, but I said that's where I kicked a 44-yard field goal. Ask the late Jim Pinar on that one. They are going to go direct snap once again. Karki leaping over, and he got his way in. Jersey Karki with the touchdown. And the former Westwood Patriot adds to this already insurmountable lead for the Black All-Star team. And just following his blockers, nothing crazy.
No.
And Jersey Karki can now tell his grandkids that I scored a touchdown in the UP All-Star football game. They are going to try and kick the extra point. Hard to do without a tee and without the holder.
Yeah, you got to have a holder out there at least.
That's always helpful.
Just want to just drop kick it.
Last drop kick I saw in a competitive game was Doug Flutie.
College?
Nope.
Pro?
No, it was pro. And without the tee, that one is knocked through. I'm trying to remember who he was playing for when he did that. In the NFL, it wasn't in the CFL, it was in the NFL. Who did he play for? Now that I'm blanking on this.
I'm trying to think now. Did he play for
Buffalo, I think.
Boston College?
Did he play for Buffalo?
Could have.
In the NFL. I know he played for Calgary in the CFL. But that was the last drop kick I ever saw in a game.
Yeah.
.704 to go, and it has been all black All-Star team. Here at the Dome in Marquette, they jumped out to a 19-0 lead. The red team cut it to 19-12, and as you see, it has been no looking back.
Yeah, Chicago, Buffalo. I know that. Chicago, Buffalo, New England, and
Yeah, he did play
Chicago.
for the Bears, didn't he?
Chicago, Buffalo, New England, and I'm trying to think another one.
I think he was with he may have been with New England when he did the drop kick. Now that I think about it.
New England, Buffalo.
Well, we didn't see one, so
No,
it doesn't,
no.
it doesn't really matter, I
I'm
guess.
trying to get my trivia knowledge of where he played pro football at.
So the former Go-Gimmick miner, Morrow's got it on the tee. And Lefty's going to get this all lined up. He'll approach. And we'll continue this fourth quarter here in Marquette. Fumbled on the far sideline, but it's kicked forward for the Red All-Stars. Up ahead. And out to about the 30-yard line. Ball carrier is Wyatt Kulik, not the biggest kid out there.
No, he's small, but he's quick.
He is quick.
Oh, is he quick?
And down big, and you see the smile on his face? Red team's getting beat up pretty good here, and Kulik just walks off and says, hey, I'm an all-star.
Yeah, I fumbled that ball. But I recovered it.
I see what you mean about the shorts without the pads.
Yeah, it's unreal. It's like you go and play sandlot football outside the schoolyard.
Well, here we go. 6:56 to go. Clock stops on the change of possession. And Dobb under center here for the Red All-Star team. Give it to Pucci. And again, that's what's been happening most of the ballgame here this afternoon. Getting there in a real hurry is Braden Farah out of Iron Mountain to make the tackle. These tired, bruised up boys after this one here, Coach.
Yeah, they're banging out there.
Yeah.
They're not playing two-man touch, playing like the old NFL All-Star game.
Oh, I'm so glad they don't do
that.
I'm so glad they don't do that.
That was getting to the point where they're playing two-man touch, and it was boring. They're not playing flag football or do something like that, or skills or something, because that was not good. Same thing with hockey and the NBA. No defense played at all. At least baseball, people try to strike somebody out.
Actually, one of the greatest throws from the outfield I ever saw was in an All-Star game.
The baseball All-Star game is the best of them all.
Jim Rice.
Boston Red Sox.
Yep. And getting thrown down in a real hurry.
Down goes Frazier.
Is Dobb. And a whole host of black jerseys got there. Jed Anderson leading the way. Paramaki's in there as well. Good grief. They all got to him. I once heard a term tackled by everybody, and included in that here is Farah again out of Iron Mountain.
He got there quickly.
Shaking his head. Not my house, baby. Not in my house.
Wrapped him up.
Loss of several, third down, and about 14, 13 yards. Tick, tick, tick here in Marquette if you're a Red All-Star. Black team has been impressive here today.
The best thing is no one, knock on wood, got any kind of serious injury that we see, so that's the best part of this game.
We had one kid walked off.
Right, and other than that, that's what you want.
And that was it. Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, keep prayers open on that one because we're not out of here yet. Third and long, Dobb. Misdirection in the backfield. And they're going to keep it on the ground to the left side and nothing there.
Good play.
that Dharma Gray on the tackle?
20, 30.
Well, 30 be Blake Doak.
Yeah, 30 got him.
Get a better look at the play here. As that all happened underneath Cloak and Dagger right there.
Martin Vincent.
Nope.
No, Vincent
It was a number 5. That is Dharma Gray on the tackle.
That was a nice tackle. Well, he got a stiff arm in his face, and he still made a tackle.
No, we saw him a couple of times last year, and he had good outings in those ball games. And is the red team going to just say uncle and punt? They've done it twice already, and both of those led to black team touchdowns. And if you're the black team here, Greg, you get the ball back, you kind of call off the.
I think you would.
Kind of call it off a little bit.
Just run the ball.
I don't know. They're putting Nelson and Nora back there to receive the punt.
But they haven't returned one yet because they haven't been able to catch one. That's why.
You'll see what kind of electricity we can get with one of these guys gets hold of the ball.
The punts haven't been deep enough where they can burn you, because if the deeper the punt is, the harder to cover it is. You're spreading yourself out all over the field, and that's when those guys find a lot of gaps to run through on their returns.
Well, Philip Nelson, at least 4 returns last year as a senior for touchdowns.
They're going for it. They're going to go for it.
Well, line up to go for it. Why not? Dobb looking. It collapses on him, and it's going to be knocked down by Nora and Philip Nelson. Dharma Gray also back there defensively. They went for it on 4th down, and they're going to hand out.
Why not?
Yeah, I agree.
Why
I agree.
You might have tipped it and you caught it. You never know. But
get a pass interference, you never know.
It wasn't going to make any difference anyway. Caught it, didn't catch it.
Ball tipped by Philip Nelson right there, wearing number 0.
I can't think of any 36-point plays.
No.
I tried to invent some, but you can't.
Well, that was the old St. Paul parking lot. Greg always has a tendency to regale me with stories of the old Catholic school in Nagani there.
St. Paul Schoolyard.
Yeah.
Tell you what, we played many games over there, boy. Knocked off the big wall over there, but
Well, that's just it, and that was your All-Star game.
Rabbi Johnson knocking us off with a sweep. He was 5 years older than we were. He played for Nagani for 3 years in a varsity starter, went to Northern, played for a little bit. He used to lead a sweep.
Inside handoff, and getting rocked is the ball carrier. Imhoff on the carry, and he got smoked on the left side of that offensive line.
That hurt.
That's a wake-up call right there. I didn't see who popped through. We'll get a better look at it here. Hand the ball. Hello, and wake-up call there from big Corbin Lefebvre out of Ark River Harris. Great play.
Was that a shot? Oof. Only thing he didn't do was land on him when he threw him on the ground. That would have been worse. Like I said, I'm going to keep it on the ground. They're not going to be too.
We'll be quick when this one is over. We'll probably show you the beginnings of the trophy presentation, but we'll be quick as it's the black team up big, and like you said, Greg, they'll be keeping it on the ground here.
Yep.
That's Michael Englund in the orange helmet out of Mid-Penn. Back in the backfield with Jerzyk from Newberry. Niebel under center, give to the former Wolverine. Hops up, and Englund's going to get knocked down after a gain of a couple. So 3rd down and about 8 now here for the black team All-Stars. 2:25 as you see counting here in Marquette this afternoon. All right, Coach, this was your first All-Star game. What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a good atmosphere. Kids had a lot of fun playing, and they worked hard all week for this moment as far as practice goes, and little homework-wise, learning the systems they were taught. And you meet new people, Mark. You meet new friends, and friends you, like I said, you might never forget. But this is something that would never happen otherwise. You wouldn't see these people at all. So now you get yourself new friends. Life's all about meeting new people and getting new friendships going.
One of the things that's required here is you can't room with a high school teammate.
I like that.
You have to room at Northern with someone you don't know.
That's how you get to know people.
And that's how you create new friendships. And like I said earlier, there have been guys that played in this game years ago, and their roommate that they didn't know going into the All-Star game wound up standing in their weddings with them later on. Give, second man to the pile, and a good carry for Peterson out of Norway.
That's what I used to do by basketball camps too, Mark. We'd have girls' basketball camps. We had a lot of people over there, and everybody go to their same old clutch they had. I said, no, you're breaking up. And go with somebody you don't know, and we're going to work together with somebody you don't know. And each day you change partners. And I would go into skill work like that, so you get to meet new people, and that worked out pretty good. Instead of staying with your own friends there, you don't I didn't like that too much.
We are officially under a minute to go here in Marquette. Black All-Stars with the big lead here. They've got the football 4th down and 8 at the red All-Star 23-yard line. And I think the only thing you won't see is them taking a knee.
No.
They're going to send a single receiver out to the left-hand side. Englund from mid-pen, I formation here. Behind Niebel, the Munising Mustang. Long count at the line of scrimmage. They're going to give second man to the pile. Not a lot there, but sneaking out of harm's way and up near. Oh, he's going to be just shy. Depends on where they mark the ball. Calcari out of Menominee. Did he get the first down or not? This is going to depend on the spot, and if they put it where it is, I don't think he got it either.
No, I don't think he did. So they'll have to run a play.
This is going to be really close.
They're giving the ball to the red team. Have to run a play. Don't think they'll run more than one play.
Calcari gets knocked out of bounds, and they are going to turn it over on down. So first down for the Red All-Star team. And that, my friend, should be just about it here from the Dome. We do take one break before we're done and then bring it back for a quick farewell and a look at the handshake line, which at this game here, Greg.
A lot of hugs, boy.
Spectacular.
A lot of hugs. You know, there's nothing better than you watch a Stanley Cup and you see after each series over that they line up and after they beat the heck out of each other, and then they shake it. All the respect is so unreal. That's why I love it so much.
It's like the Tech Northern handshake line in hockey. As the grab is made, is that Van Buren?
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
Ain't going down.
Throwing guys out of the way
is
Eli Van Buren, and he gets in on the action here in the offense for the Red All-Star team.
It was nice to see that play to him because I remember a few plays when he caught the ball like that, and he go across the middle and he's firing people off him, just grabbing them and throwing them.
In the Menominee playoff game, he threw a couple of defenders out of the way on the way to the end zone, and I told Greg, I said, only thing missing was a chair. You know, swinging like the World Wrestling Federation.
He was one of the toughest guys I seen play at Nagani. You know, he had the mentality to be a football player. You know, and it was nice to see him play.
Clock winds down, and there you have it. 48-12 is the final. The Black All-Star team, an impressive victory here today. They will name an MVP, Greg, but in your mind, MVP is who?
Mr. North Central. Definitely Mr. North Central.
Well, I would have to say that Mr. Korzinski had himself a great ball game. But if we get a look at this before we wrap it up here, just that handshake line is going to be, you're talking teammates for years and years playing against one another here today. This is going to be, and Drake Spickerman leading the line there.
Because he's a class individual, that's why.
Every one of these kids is a winner, and what a great, entertaining afternoon of high school football. So I'm guessing that we're going to wrap things up. I was told no break, and we're going right to the end of this. There's Todd Goldbeck, and there's the championship trophy, which we awarded to the black team. There's Cole Pucci. And I tell you, I'm going to miss watching him as a Gladstone Brave.
It's amazing how some of the high school kids got great persona. You know, you don't see that too often, but one of the guys you'll see that has that is Drake Spickerman, who is just an outgoing individual who can just talk to anybody. And how don't you like a kid like that? You know, he's such a good athlete, but he's such a better kid.
Well, each one of these kids, like we said, is a winner. And it doesn't show in the score there at 48-12, but that was about as entertained as I've been watching a football game.
It really was.
In a long time.
They just had more skill players. The black team did it, you know, with the quarterback and the receiving core, and they were more dangerous, you know.
I am guessing that we're going to wrap things up here. As you see the final score, there's the back of the trophy right there. The little black one looks like a tombstone. That's the MVP. And again, a reminder for you that, yes, the football is important, but at the banquet last night, the character awards were handed out. Philip Nelson out of Nagani for the black team. 2 were handed out to the red team. You mentioned Drake Spickerman. He was one. Max Wilginen from Westwood, the other. So, again, a lot of great friendships made, a lot of life lessons learned, and some fun football for these guys, for many of them wrapping up their careers. For Greg Nelson, Mark Evans, and our entire TV6, Fox UP, and UpperMichiganSource.com crew, there's your wrap on the 2023 edition of the UP Football All-Star Game.